Okay, so fine. So we should be continuing with these things. Okay. So in the last session we discussed what EDA is. You know, EDA, the full form of EDA. Okay, it is nothing but exploratory data analysis. You have to explore your data and you have to keep on analyzing each and everything, whatever you have. Okay. The number of columns. First of all, number of columns, number of rows, the data types. You have different data types, whether your data is continuous, whether this particular column is continuous, whether it is discrete. If it is continuous, is it ratio, is it interval? Okay, is it numeric data, is it non numeric data, is it qualitative, quantitative? Everything whatever you have discussed, you need to keep on writing those things, okay, in one report. Fine. And after that you have to come through this EDA part. Here, coming to EDA, you have to first go with first moment of business decision. First moment of business decision. Okay, here you have to define the mean, median, and mode is nothing but the most frequent items. Mode, okay, any value which has been repeated maximum number of time in your data set, that is nothing but your mode. Fine. Out of all these three, mean, median, mode, tell me which gets influenced by higher value or big value or very less value. That means outliers. Okay, mean gets influenced by outliers. Fine. Median never gets influenced by outlier. Why? Because median is simply the middlemost value, and you can arrange your order. Okay, you can sort it in descending, ascending, and you can find it out the middlemost value. That is what median is. So it never depends on the outlier. Now, what about mode? Mode is completely independent. Okay, now is it coming? Fine. What about now? Just wait. Is it fine now? Just wait. Is it coming fine now? Now am I audible properly? Fine. Okay. So this is what we had discussed in the previous session. Okay. First moment of business decision. And we just started with second moment of business decision. Second moment. Second moment of business decision tells you about dispersion. Dispersion. How the data is varying, how the data is dispersed, how the data is spreaded. So all such terms can be applied here. Okay. Dispersion. How the data is completely varying. Okay. The best example is uh, what I should be saying. Mm, okay, you are going to a retail store. Okay, a very big retail store. For example, Reliance Smart Bazaar. Okay, fine. So in that particular store, varieties of items are present. Varieties, varieties of items are present. Different types of items are present. A needle, starting from a needle to furniture. Is not it? So many items are present there. Okay. So the data is distributed something like this. The items are distributed something like this in a wide manner. In a wide manner. Okay. Suppose this is nothing but your mean value. Here your data points are varying in a large extent. So this clearly shows that variance is more here. Data points are varying a lot. But if you go to a small shop, a local shop, okay, that shopkeeper would be having items, but not so much varieties of items. Few of the items may not be available with that particular shop. Okay, is not it? If you ask that grocery shop person to give you shoes, will that person able to give you? No, those things are not available. So your data is not going to vary that much. It would be something like this. Fine. Just wait. Fine. Your data would be varying very less, very less. Very less variation would be there if you go to a local shop. But if you go to Reliance Fresh or if you go to DMart, something like that, where very big retail store, you would be finding so many items present in that particular store. In the same way, coming to data, coming to data. We have a column, for example, I have a column called salary or marks marks of students. People have secured marks like this. Someone who scored 60, 65, 70, someone scored 72, someone scored 20, someone scored 98, someone scored 85, someone scored 56. Marks are present like this. If I get the mean of it, you would be getting a, some value. You would be getting some value, random value. Fine. But see how the data is varying. Suppose my mean is 60. The mean I got is 60. After calculating it, for example, I got 60. Now this is my mean. That is nothing but 60. Now see how the data is varying. 60 is here at the middlemost part. The highest value is nothing but, out of this thing, it is 98. So someone has scored 98. And also a person is there who has scored 20. So 20 is also present here. Fine. So see how the data is varying. The data is varying a lot, is not it? I would say that most of the people out of this particular data, they have secured the mark around 60. That's fine. For example, 65, 70, 72, they are around 60. But there are some people who have secured the marks very far away from your mean position, is not it? That means the variance is there. Variance is there. What if I could have told you something like this? I could have told you uh, marks obtained by students are 60, 60, 60, 60, 60, 60. Is there any variation here? There is no variation at all. All the marks are same only. There is no variation. There is no variation. Okay. If you go to a local shop and you ask for something, for example, rice, the shop is only having rice, nothing else, not even bread, wheat, or anything else. The shop is only known for providing you rice. So, should I say that varieties of items are not present with that particular shopkeeper? Yes, variation is not there. Varieties of items are not present there. In the same way, marks obtained by students for in that particular class, everyone secured 60, so there is no variation at all. In the same way, salary. If I say that salaries are going to vary, some salaries of people are something like this: 20K, 50K, 80K, 30K. See, the variation are there. The variation are there. How much is the variation? That doesn't matter. Is it big? Is it large? Is it less? That could be calculated after checking variance. After you look at variance, you would be able to know. Fine. But still, variance is there here. What if the salary of employees are same, 20K, 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 20K? If you check the variance, it would be zero. No variance. No variation at all. Fine. In the same way, if I go with uh, male, male, female, male, 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 female, female. See, maximum number of time male is present. Male, male. Here you got the changes. Again, male, 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 male. So here the variance is there. You cannot say that variance is not there. Variance is there, but variance is less, not that much. Why? Because most of the time male is present. Male continuously appeared for consecutively appeared for 4 times. So I would say variance is there, but variance is less. That would be getting calculated later. Okay, we would be calculating it later. So this is what variance is. Okay, from the centermost position, from your central position, how much the data is varying, how much the data is varying from the centralmost position, that is given by something called variance. Fine. In the same way, we have standard deviation, STD, standard deviation. Variance is VR, variance. Standard deviation is having the same definition as variance. Okay, it would also be giving you the idea how much the data is varying from the mean position, central position. But here the difference is, coming to variance, we always have the formula in terms of square. It is nothing but summation of, I will show you that formula, x minus mu square divided by n. So this is the formula. This is the formula for variance. Okay. So here we are having the squared term. If I ask you the area of triangle, can anyone tell me the area of triangle? Half base into height. What would be the, for example, base is given in terms of centimeter, height is given in terms of centimeter. What would be the unit? overall area centimeter square, is not it? The area of sorry, the unit of area is in terms of square, centimeter square. It is making sense. It is making sense here. What if I would be going to market and telling a person, hey, give me 2 kg square of apple? Will it make sense there? Not at all. Kg square doesn't matter here. It matters here. Why? Because two times that particular same unit is multiplied. Okay. The value would be getting something. Some value would be getting here. Along with the value, even the unit is getting squared, is not it? That matters only for what? Area. What about other stuffs? Will you go to market and will you consume two packet square of milk? Two packet square of milk. Will it make any sense? No, not at all. In the same way, coming to variance, in the formula, since we have square term, even the unit is also going to get squared. Suppose I will be calculating the variance for marks, sorry, salary, 20,000, 30,000. These things are present, and I'm calculating the variance. I'm putting it in the formula and I will be getting some value. I got some value. Salary is in terms of rupees. So it would be rupees square. Will it make any sense? No, it will not make any sense. Although you will be getting the idea how much the data is varying. But coming to the unit, it is not making any sense. How can you explain to your client? Will you be explain that okay, this is the variance, but the client would be asking, अरे भाई तो unit बता. अगर आप बोल दो रुपीज स्क्वायर तो क्या सोचेगा वो? That is the reason why you should be getting your original unit back. आपको अपना original unit back करना है. Get your original unit back. Unit back कब लाओगे? जब आप रूट ओवर ऑफ लोगे. रूट ओवर ऑफ रुपीज स्क्वायर इज नथिंग बट रुपीज. इन द सेम वे वेरिएंस अगर स्क्वायर टर्म में है, उसका रूट ओवर अगर ले लेते हो तो आपको कुछ मिलेगा जो कि बोलते हैं स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन. हाउ मच द डेटा इज डेविएटिंग फ्रॉम द मीन पोजीशन. फाइन. नो दैट इज नथिंग बट स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन, एंड स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन यू शुड बी यूजिंग. हाँ. ସେ ବା variance ର ବିଶେଷ କେହି ୟୁଜ୍ ହଉନି. Okay. ତମେ ହଁ variance ପାଇଗଲ, you got some variance, that's fine. Just analyze whether the variance is zero or non-zero. If it is near to zero, then we have to remove that particular thing. Why? Because kind of sabuda the same emoji. For example, male, 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 male. Is it making any sense that all the data are having male? Should I analyze it? It will not make any sense. That is the reason why you should be dropping it. So basically, variance ର use ହବ ତମର pre-processing ବେଳେ. Pre-processing ବେଳେ. Okay. We have something called variance inflation factor. Machine learning ଯେତେବେଳେ ପଢିବ ସେଠି ବି ଟିକେ variance ର uses ଆସିବ. ସେଇଥିପାଇଁ ଆମେ variance ଟା ପଢୁ. That doesn't mean standard deviation କେବେ use କରିବୁନି. Always try to make the use of standard deviation. Standard deviation is going to give you standardized unit. Even the value you can check. Even the value you can check and you can analyze whether data is varying a lot or not. Okay. କିନ୍ତୁ ତମର unit ଟା ବରାବର ହେଇକି ଆସିବ. ତ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ସବୁବେଳେ ଟାର୍ଗେଟ କରିବ ଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡାର୍ଡ ଡେଭିଏସନକୁ ନେଇକି ଏକ୍ସପ୍ଲେନ୍ କରିବାକୁ. ଫାଇନ୍. variance କଲେ କିଛି ନା, କିନ୍ତୁ ୟୁନିଟରେ ସ୍କୋୟାରିଂ ହେଉଛି. ଇନ୍ କେସ୍ ତମ କ୍ଲାଏଣ୍ଟ ଧରେ ପଚାରିଦବ କି ଆଚ୍ଛା ମତେ ୟୁନିଟଟା କୁହ, ୟୁନିଟ ତ ଲେଖିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ ନା ଯାହା ବି ହେଲେ. ଫର ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ, ୟୁ ହ୍ୟାଭ୍ 3 columns, you calculated the variance for all these 3 columns and you have mentioned it, my variance is this much. Fine. For this particular column, if the person is asking, acha this column, okay, fine, so you got such a big number, is it rupees square? If the person is asking, then what will you tell? You will be telling, yes sir, it is rupees square. Then that person may laugh. The person may say, okay, how can you mean it that it is rupees square? Okay, that is the reason why try to make the use of standard deviation. Anyway, they are related. How they are related with this particular formula? ଏତିକି ତ ଖାଲି ଫରକ ଅଛି, ଆଉ କିଛି ନାହିଁ. କିନ୍ତୁ variance ର ମୋଷ୍ଟଲି ଆମେ ୟୁଜ୍ କରିବା ML ରେ, କାହିଁକିନା ସେତେବେଳେ କିଛି କିଛି ଫଙ୍କସନ୍ସ ଅଛି, କିଛି କିଛି ଲାଇବ୍ରେରୀ ପାଇଁ ଯୋଉଟା କି ତମକୁ ପ୍ରାୟର ଆଇଡିଆ ଦେଇଦବ will it going to work or not. We have something called variance inflation factor. ଏଥିରେ ବି variance ହିଁ calculated ହେଉଛି. Variance inflation factor. What is the use of this in machine learning? It will be telling you which columns are varying a lot, and because of these columns your output variable is getting output, that is nothing but y is getting impacted. Okay. Which columns are varying a lot, and because of those columns your output are getting impacted, you can drop those columns. Okay. So there you would be having the use of proper variance. Even here also you can use it, there is no issue at all. But the purification of variance is nothing but standard deviation. So make the use of standard deviation. Okay, because standard deviation is used everywhere. Even in the formula, this formula, those who had gone through statistics and all, x minus mu by sigma, everywhere you would be getting the use of standard deviation. Variance का use उतना आपको नहीं मिलेगा formula basis पे. Okay, so make the use of standard deviation. Even most of the companies, they used to follow sigma concepts. Okay, for example, if you go to manufacturing of this automobile parts and all, they would be following three sigma concepts. Three sigma concept क्या होता है? Three sigma concept tells you that 99.7 percentage of the items are going to be precisely made, precisely produced. ऑटोमोबाइल, ऑटोमोबाइल मतलब मान लो कार बस ये सब बनते हैं, तो उनके जो जो छोटे छोटे पार्ट सब बन के आते हैं ना मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, वो इस तरीके से मैन्युफैक्चरिंग किए जाते हैं क्या, 99.7% ऑफ द मैन्युफैक्चरिंग आइटम शुड बी प्रिसाइज्ड. उसमें कोई ज़्यादा कुछ एरर ना हो. अगर एरर होता है तो गाड़ी में जब लगेगा तब कुछ आगे एक्सीडेंट भी हो सकता है. वो प्रिसाइज इंडस्ट्री थ्री सिग्मा सिक्स सिग्मा कॉन्सेप्ट फॉलो करते हैं. सिक्स सिग्मा कॉन्सेप्ट तो मोस्टली फॉलो एयरलाइन इंडस्ट्रीज में किया जाता है. When they are preparing or manufacturing this turboprop engine, अगर छोटा सा माइन्यूट अगर भी होल होता है तो क्या होगा, बस्ट कर जाएगा. दैट इज द रीजन वाई सिक्स सिग्मा कॉन्सेप्ट वहां यूज होते हैं. तो सिग्मा का यूज हर जगह होता है. वेरिएंस आपको उतना देखने नहीं मिलेगा. वेरिएंस इज बेसिकली यूज्ड फॉर अंडरस्टैंडिंग द थिंग्स, बट प्रैक्टिकल यूजेस किसका होता है, सिग्मा का होता है. फाइन, इवन इन द फॉर्मूला वी आर हैविंग द यूज ऑफ सिग्मा. ओके, anyway you should be knowing the relation between variance and sigma, वो काफी आपके लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है. बट कमिंग टू एक्सप्लेनेशन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, मेक द यूज ऑफ दिस सिग्मा स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन. फाइन. Okay. Okay, now let me show you this particular slide. Now see, we also discuss something called inferential statistics. What do you mean by inferential statistics? Inferential statistics means you are working on sample data, work on sample data in order to make the conclusion for population. Work on sample data to make the conclusion for population. फाइन, आप कुछ डेटा के ऊपर काम करोगे और पूरा पॉपुलेशन के बारे में एक्सप्लेन करोगे एंड में. दैट इज व्हाट इन्फ्लुएंशियल स्टैटिस्टिक्स इज. फाइन. अंडर दैट वी हैव समथिंग कॉल्ड हाइपोथेसिस टेस्टिंग, जिसमें बहुत सारे टेस्ट यूज किए जाते हैं. टी टेस्ट होता है, जेड टेस्ट होता है, अनोवा टेस्ट होता है, काई स्क्वायर टेस्ट होता है, टू टी टेस्ट होता है, ये है वन टी, ये है टू टी. तो इस तरीके से कुछ कुछ टेस्ट है. ये सब आपके बिजनेस डिसीजन लेने को हेल्प करते हैं. ओके, दिस थिंग शुड बी हेल्पिंग यू आउट टू टेक एनी काइंड ऑफ बिजनेस डिसीजन इन फ्यूचर. तो ये मोस्टली यूज किए जाते हैं कहाँ पे, जब आप मशीन लर्निंग सीखते हो. मशीन लर्निंग के अंडर कुछ कुछ मॉडल्स है जो कि हाइपोथेसिस टेस्टिंग के यूजेस करते हैं. With the help of those hypothesis testing values, you can know whether this model is going to work good or not. Okay, तो पहले टेस्ट कर दिया जाता है ताकि आपको पता चल जाए ये काम करेगा या नहीं करेगा. अगर काम करेगा तो उसके साथ आगे लेके जाओ, अगर नहीं करेगा तो क्यों बेकार का टाइम वेस्ट करना. गो टू एनी अदर मॉडल और सिंपली डू एनी चेंजेस ओवर योर इनपुट. इनपुट पे थोड़ा बहुत चेंजेस करो, प्री प्रोसेसिंग अच्छे से करो, क्लीनिंग अच्छे से करो, so that what will happen, you can use this model because hypothesis testing would be giving you some good values. Okay, so that is secondary thing that you would be covering up later. Okay, so inferential statistics is working on sample in order to get the requirement for population. Fine. तो हम मोस्टली सैम्पल डेटा पे काम करते हैं. रिमेंबर, इवन योर कंपनी इज गोइंग टू गिव यू सैम्पल डेटा, डोंट एज्यूम दैट दैट डेटा इज नथिंग बट पॉपुलेशन. पॉपुलेशन डेटा कोई नहीं देगा. पॉपुलेशन डेटा इज जहां से, मतलब जिस समय से कंपनी फाउंड किया गया है. फॉर एग्जांपल द कंपनी गॉट फाउंडेड ऑन 1970 और अभी जाके 2025 चल रहा है. ऑल द डेटा गॉट जनरेटेड इन दैट पर्टिकुलर कंपनी, दैट इज नथिंग बट पॉपुलेशन डेटा. सो विल, ओके, विल एनीवन बी गिविंग यू दैट पॉपुलेशन डेटा? नो. इतना डेटा को कौन देगा, क्या यूज होगा. तो आप क्या करोगे, कुछ लेटेस्ट डेटा पे काम करोगे. 2025, 24, 23, लास्ट 3 years का डेटा पे काम करोगे. एंड यू आर गोइंग टू डिफाइन समथिंग विच इज गोइंग टू बी वैल्यूएबल फॉर दैट एंटायर कंपनी. वो पूरा कंपनी को अच्छे से डिफाइन करेगा, आप जो कुछ भी एनालाइज करोगे। दैट्स व्हाट योर रिक्वायरमेंट इज। फाइन। ओके, नाउ सी, रिमेंबर ये क्वेश्चंस पूछे जाते हैं, मोस्टली फ्रॉम इंटरव्यू पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू दे वुड बी आस्किंग, अच्छा टेल मी, okay, people would be asking you, टेल मी वेदर यू हैव टेकन पॉपुलेशन डेटा और सैंपल डेटा। तब बच्चे प्रोजेक्ट करने के बाद भी कंफ्यूज होते हैं और वो बोल देते हैं कि सर पॉपुलेशन डेटा, जबकि वो गलत है। ओके, सो दिस सिली क्वेश्चंस may be asked to you, so be ready to answer such questions. Now see, oh, people are joining, ତମେ ଦି ଜଣ ଜଏନ୍ କଲ କିନ୍ତୁ ଯାହାକୁ ଜଏନ୍ କରିବା କଥା ସେଇ କରିନାହାନ୍ତି। ସେ ତ ପାଠ ସିନା ପଢିଲେ ହବ, ଏ ତ କ୍ଲାସରେ କିଛି ଶୁଣିବେନି ଆଉ। ଆଉ ଏବେ ତାକୁ ମେସେଜ କଲାକୁ ସିଏ ତମକୁ ଦେଖ ସେୟାର କରିଛି କିନ୍ତୁ ସେ ନିଜେ ଜଏନ୍ କରିନି। एनीवे फाइन, देखो पॉपुलेशन, कमिंग टू पॉपुलेशन मीन मीन का फॉर्मूला सेम ही रहेगा, इट इज वेरी इजी, अरिथमेटिक मीन, सम ऑफ ऑल दिस वैल्यूज डिवाइड बाय टोटल नंबर ऑफ टर्म्स, टोटल नंबर ऑफ वैल्यूज, इज नॉट इट। वही फॉर्मूला यहाँ पे भी यूज करते हैं पॉपुलेशन में या सैंपल में। हम किस पे काम करेंगे, सैंपल में काम करेंगे। तो सैंपल मीन को रिप्रेजेंट किया जाता है एक्स बार से। रिमेंबर, सैंपल मीन इज गोइंग टू बी डिनोटेड बाय एक्स बार, जबकि पॉपुलेशन मीन इज गोइंग टू बी डिनोटेड बाय म्यू। फाइन, म्यू इज नथिंग बट पॉपुलेशन मीन, सैंपल मीन इज नथिंग बट एक्स बार। बाकी फॉर्मूला देखो सब सेम है, summation of xi, that means all these individual values would be taken, added up, divided by the total number of terms. And sample size मान लो, you have taken one sample, the sample size is 100, that is basically denoted by small n, वो small n पे denote किया जाता है। And coming to population, capital N में। okay, कुछ तो difference होना चाहिए ना दोनों में फॉर्मूला में। So this terminologies में ही थोड़ा बहुत डिफरेंस रहता है। कैपिटल एन इज पॉपुलेशन साइज, स्मॉल एन इज सैंपल साइज। Okay, so that was all about the mean, that was all about the mean. In the same way, coming to variance and standard deviation, here also you have the formula like this। पॉपुलेशन वेरिएंस को डिनोट किया जाता है सिग्मा स्क्वायर, पॉपुलेशन वेरिएंस। फाइन, formula is xi minus mu, see since you are taking population that means here you should be having the population mean, तो mu लिखा गया है, mu का होल स्क्वायर डिवाइड बाय कैपिटल N, and your I values from 1 to n, that's completely fine। coming to here sample, हाँ हाँ, ना ना देखो, तमे जो फॉर्मूला यूज करिवो डेटा फ्रेम ऊपर, डेटा फ्रेम को नौच ना, इट वुड बी गिविंग यू द फॉर्मूला ऑफ दिस वन, एटा सैंपल साइज। आ देखो विशेष किसी डिफरेंस नहीं से पॉपुलेशन हो कि जा हो, देखो ये डिफरेंस कौन पाउछ, किसी पाउछ कि म्यू इज देयर, म्यू इज जस्ट नथिंग फॉर डिनोशन पर्पस पे यूज होची। एठी कौन पाउछ एक्स बार, दैट इज नथिंग बट मीन ओनली, म्यू इज योर मीन, एक्स बार इज योर मीन। फाइन, खाली आम जानूँ चिन्हुचु मीन बोली, किंतु ये को मीन, ये हला तमर पॉपुलेशन मीन, ये हला तमर कोन सैंपल मीन, एति गला कथा। बाकी जिंस तो सेम ही रहउची, आ एथरे टिके डिफरेंस रहउची n-1 आउची, एथरे एथरे कैपिटल N रहउची। Remember, n-1 is given by the researchers. They have researched a lot of things and they came to know that since our conclusion should be done on population, that is the reason why ଯେତେବେଳେ sample variance और population variance ଯେତେବେଳେ find out କରିବୁ, ତାଙ୍କ value approximately ପାଖାପାଖି ଆସିବା ଦରକାର, approximately ପାଖାପାଖି ଆସିବା ଦରକାର। okay, it should be defining each other, that is the reason why they came up with the denominator as n-1। this is known as degree of freedom, degree of freedom। सैंपल रिमेंबर, सैंपल कहब ना, योर डेटा सेट इज नथिंग बट योर सैंपल। देखो ये सब रिसर्चर्स से रिसर्च करके फॉर्मूला देछंती हैला कि, बट इफ समवन इज आस्किंग यू टेल मी द वेरिएंस यू हैव यूज्ड, यू शुड बी सेइंग सर वेरिएंस आई गॉट समथिंग कॉल्ड 246। फाइन, नाउ टेल मी इज द वेरिएंस पॉपुलेशन वेरिएंस और सैंपल वेरिएंस, यू शुड बी सेइंग सर सैंपल वेरिएंस। से पचारिबे काई सैंपल वेरिएंस, कहना सर हमें गोटे सैंपल डेटा ऊपर काम करूछु, Population data is something which the client is giving you on the basis of the entire years. For example, ଗୋଟେ company ମାନେ found ହେଇଛି 2000 2000 ରେ, ଆଉ ଆଜିକୁ 2024 ଅଛି ଯେ ସେ କ'ଣ ତମକୁ 2000 ରୁ 2024 ଭିତରେ ସବୁ ଡେଟା ଦେଇଛି କି? ନା, ଦ ପର୍ସନ ହାଜ ଓନଲି ଗିଭେନ୍ ୟୁ ଫ୍ୟୁ ଅଫ ଦ ରେକର୍ଡସ୍, ମାତ୍ର 1000ଟା କି ମାତ୍ର 2000ଟା କି ବେଶୀରୁ ବେଶୀ 10,000ଟା ରୋଜ୍ ଥିବ। ଆର୍ ୟୁ ଗୋଇଂ ଟୁ ୱାର୍କ ଅନ୍ 1 lakh rows? If you are working, then ask that client, sir, is this the sufficient data that you have given? If the person is saying yes, then that is nothing but population data. And if the person is saying no, no, this is just a part of our company's data, ସେ ତମକୁ ସବୁ ଡେଟା ଥୋଡ଼ି ଦେଇଦେବେ। ସବୁ ଡେଟା ଦେଲେ ବି डेटा सेट ऊपर डिपेंड करिव। एंड एज आई टोल्ड यू, तमे प्रोजेक्ट करिवो कि क्लाइंट सहित काम करिवो कि किए भी तुमको डेटा दउछि ना, से सैंपल डेटा ही देबे। केबे भी पॉपुलेशन डेटा दिया जाए ना। फॉर एग्जांपल हॉस्पिटल गोटे भाव मेडिकल हेल्थ केयर ऊपर काम करूछो, हेल्थ केयर टा बनिची 2000 मसिया रे, ଆଉ ଆଜିକୁ ଆସିକି 2024 2025 ଅଛି। ସେ ତମକୁ ଏଣ୍ଟାयर ଡେଟା ଦେଇଦେବେ, ଟୋଟାଲ ଡେଟା। ତାହେଲେ କ'ଣ ହବ, ତମେ ସବୁ କିଛି ଆନାଲାଇଜ କରିକି ମେ ବି ତମେ ଡେଟାଟା ଲିକ୍ ବି କୋଉଠି କରିପାର କି ହଁ ହସ୍ପିଟାଲରେ ଡେଥ୍ ରେଟ୍ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟିଂରୁ ଏଣ୍ଡ ଯାଏଁ ଏତିକି ଅଛି, ଲୋକମାନେ କୋଉ କୋଉ ଟାଇମରେ ସବୁ ଡେଥ୍ ହେଇଛି, କୋଉ କୋଉ ରିଜନ ପାଇଁ ହେଇଛି, ସବୁ ରିଭିଲ୍ ହେଇଯିବ। ଓକେ, which may be backfiring this particular hospital. That is the reason why no one gives you the entire data। ଆଉ ଡେଟା ଦେଲା ବେଳେ ନନ୍ डिस्क्लोजर अग्रीमेंट साइन हुए, एनडीए फॉर्म साइन हुए, ଆଉ ସେଥିରେ ଦୁନିଆ କଥା ଲେଖା ଥାଏ କି in case you are leaking the data by any chance you would be fined। फाइन ତ फाइन ହବ, ତାପରେ ସରି କ'ଣ ଜେଲ୍ ବି ହେଇବାର ଚାନ୍ସ ରହୁଛି डिपेंडिंग ऑन द सिक्योरिटी ऑफ द डेटा। तो डेटा नबा एते इजी नुहे, डेटा को आनिबा ही क्लाइंट सहित बहुत टाइम लागि जाओ, से भाबी चिंती कि तुमको दियंती। दैट इज द रीजन व्हाई से डायरेक्ट भी दियंतीनी। केबे केबे तो कोन करिवे जानछो, से तुमको मॉक डेटा दे देबे, मास्क डेटा, सॉरी मास्क डेटा। मास डेटा इज नथिंग बट एक्जाक्ट डेटा नथिबो, एक्जाक्ट डेटा नथिबो, टिके चेंजेस से माने कर देथिबे। ओके, नहीं सी कहबे कि तमे मास डेटा ऊपर काम करो, व्हाट एवर यू गॉट, इफ यू आर एबल टू गेट 90% एक्यूरेसी, प्लीज गिव इट टू अस, गिव इट टू अस। से मॉडलटा हमको दियो, आमे से मॉडल रे आम डेटा सेट पकई करी एक्यूरेसी फाइंड आउट करिवो। वंस धर पाई गले हां एथरे भी से माने 90 पाखा पाखी पाउछन, देन यू आर डन, गो हैला। तो एमती भी केसेस रोचे जोटी कि तुमको एक्जाक्ट डेटा मिलवार कष्ट हो जाउछ, और सेटा डिपेंड करे को टाइप रो प्रोजेक्ट करूछ। ओके, इफ द प्रोजेक्ट इज वेरी मच सिक्योर्ड आउ इंपोर्टेंट प्रोजेक्ट अछि, गवर्नमेंट ऑथराइज्ड प्रोजेक्ट, सेतल तुमको डायरेक्ट डेटा देबेनी। एंड इफ यू आर वर्किंग फॉर स्मॉल स्मॉल इंडस्ट्रीज, देन दे वुड बी गिविंग यू डायरेक्ट डेटा। So remember, you are going to work on sample data. Why? Because this question was completely asked to me, and I was able to fumble at that time. मते पचारले कि अच्छा tell me how many rows, how many columns were present, and tell me the formula for variance. I told them this formula, sigma square. The moment I started speaking sigma square, the person told me, "Is it sigma square?" Then I fumbled. Okay, no, 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 sir, it was sample data, so formula is like this. So people are waiting for this particular term. From interview point of view, I'm saying this particular term, is it n minus 1 or n? If you are saying n minus 1, that is nothing but sample data, remember. Fine. So this is how things work, and you should be remembering this formula at any cost, especially this n minus 1, because remembering this is very easy। n एथरे खाली टिके चेंज होची n minus 1। ओके, एंड दिस इज नोन ए डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम। टिके एक्सपेरिमेंट बेसिस रे लोक माने एटा को नेकरी आछंती। फाइन। Okay. Now this is for variance. What about standard deviation? Standard deviation is nothing but root over of variance. As I told you, you need to get the unit back to its original form. That is the reason why you have to take the root over of it. So once you take root over of that, becomes your standard deviation. Same formula रहिबो, खाली एथरे सिग्मा आइगला, s रहिगला, root over नेला। ओके, आ एथरे यूनिट टा कोन ओरिजिनल यूनिट थिबो। So this is another interview question, very famous। And remember guys, EDA preposing ru बहुत ही interview questions form है जीवो, बहुत सारा। Machine learning point of view ru they would be simply asking you which algorithm you used, why you used, please tell me the parameters you have used, and did you get the accuracy? If not, then what you did। तो सेही सब जिनसे ML ऊपर पचानते जोटा कि direct question गोटे प्रोजेक्ट कला पर you can able to answer। But coming to EDA, even though you have not used that particular thing in your project, but they would be asking you। कारण एटी मैक्सिमम टाइम जाओ, से माने भी जानी थांती कि ये पिला एई जगह रे बहुत टाइम स्पेंड करथिबो, एक्सपेक्ट तो से एई करिवे से। ओके, फाइन। नाउ आई एम पुटिंग इट हियर। So population sample. So for your exam point of view, exam in the sense those who are appearing for written exam semesters वगैरह college पिला especially ଏବେ ଯିଏ join କଲେ ତିନି ଚାରି ଜଣ ତମେ join କରିଛ, you should be remembering the formulas. Formula to remember କରିବା ଦରକାର ହିଁ ଅଛି. If I am giving you some values and I have mentioned somewhere population, okay, you shouldn't be using this one, you should be using this one. So you have to read the question properly, then you can answer. And those who are appearing for jobs and all, for them you should be knowing that you are working on sample data, and you should be remembering this formula at any cost, and aku kuha degree of freedom. Okay, n is nothing but small n. एमती से मैंने पसंद अच्छा कैपिटल एन की स्मॉल एन, बिकॉज दे वांट टू नो द एग्जैक्ट फॉर्मूला, से चाहती कि एग्जैक्ट फॉर्मूला ही तमें को. एंड इफ द पर्सन इज टेक्निकल पर्सन इन द सेंस फॉर्मूला वगैरह यदि ताकू भी मने थिबो, ताहेल तो सी पूरा देखिबो कोटा एन यूज करछो ना कैपिटल एन यूज करछो, हैला कि. सो टिके जजमेंटल बेसिस रे से तुमको क्वेश्चन पचर पारे. Fine. And apart of these things, we have something called range. ये दीटा तो तुमको बते दबो कि डिस्पर्शन टा केमिति होउची, अधिक होउची कि लेस होउची. ओके, तुम से हिसाब रे डिसीजन भी नहीं परिबो. फॉर एग्जांपल, let me give you the example something like this. Okay, marks. Let me go with marks only. Marks. People have scored marks like 60, 20, 30, 50, 80, 90. These are the marks. If I go for the variance, you would be getting a very big value. You would be getting a very big value. Fine. तो से जो बड़ भैल्यूटा पाइल से तुम कौन बते दब. ओके, this variance is more. Since the variance is more, that means the data is getting dispersed more. Is not it? Mean value तो आगुरु count calculate कर देथिबो. Why? Because this is second moment of business decision, first moment तो आगुरु finish हो जेथिबो. So you have calculated the mean. Check the mean, check the variance. Fine. And obviously variance should be in terms of square terms रे आसीबो तो mean ठारू अधिक हबो, obvious कथा रहइबो, obvious. So that is the reason why आमे ताकू standard deviation form को नहीं आसु, ताकि mean से तो भलो से compare करी हबो. And remember, once you convert it to standard deviation, your root over would be applied, and you would be getting the root over of something. Okay, original unit रे पाइबो. Suppose your mean is 20, mean is for this particular example, mean is 55, mean is 55, and the standard deviation you got it as, for example, 70. Mean 55, standard deviation 70. What can I infer from it? देखो, infer या करिवो mean ठारू बड़ अछि, that's completely fine. Standard deviation is not zero. That means deviation तो होउची. 70 is there, here 55 is there. It is close to mean, is not it? तो deviation तो होउची किंतु एत्ते होउनी. So mean ठारू बेसी दूर को तो जाउनी. If I would have given 700, oh see, standard deviation is 700, so far from the mean, is not it? तो बहुत ही होउची, काफी ज्यादा, माने पूरा it is something like this. If it would be standard deviation is, for example, it is nothing but 17, 17. That means near to mean. Mean 55, ये 70, 17 अच्छी तो इतने भी दूर नहीं. So here deviation is there. You should be saying, sir, deviation is there, but not that much, sir. Maybe your graph would be coming up like this. माने mean रो पूरा पाखापाखी. तो एमती करके आगे statistical analysis तो करिवार ही अछि. Okay, you have to analyze it statistically, and anyway, you have different. Okay, you have different graphical tools. Those will be helping you to know. কিন্তু আগে analyze এমতি করদেল. For example, you got something standard deviation, you have to mention, okay, this is the standard deviation. So this is from statistical point of view. This is known as statistical analysis. Once it is done, you shouldn't be keeping quiet. Again, you have to go for business insight, business analysis. Business insight कौन बाहरला. For example, say marks regarding mu देथिली. Can I tell? Suppose I got standard deviation as 17, but my mean is what I told 55. Can I tell that most of most of the students got got marks closer to average mark. This is nothing but from business point of view, you have to explain like this. And remember, whenever you are using business insights, never use any technical term. You shouldn't be using standard deviation, shouldn't be using mean. ତାଙ୍କର synonym କୁ ୟୁଜ୍ କରିବ କି ବିଜନେସ୍ ଟର୍ମସରେ ଯଦି କିଛି ୟୁଜ୍ ହେଉଛି ସେଗୁଡ଼ାକ ୟୁଜ୍ କରିବ। ସୋ ତମେ ଏଇଟା କହିପାରିବ କି standard deviation is ବହୁତ କମ ହେଉଛି, is not it? Deviation is less. That means your graph would be coming up like this. If this is your central position, values are varying but not that much. Most of the values are near to mean, as you can see. ପାଖାପାଖି ସବୁ ଅଛି। So I can say that most of the students getting marks closer to the average mark. Okay, so this is how you can write down, you can explain to that particular person। ଆଉ ଏମିତି ହିଁ ତମକୁ ଏକ୍ସପ୍ଲେନ୍ କରିବାକୁ ପଡ଼ିବ। ଓକେ, ୟୁ ନେଭର ୟୁଜ୍ ଏନି ଷ୍ଟାଟିଷ୍ଟିକାଲ ଆନାଲିସିସ୍, ମାନେ ଷ୍ଟାଟିଷ୍ଟିକାଲ ୱାର୍ଡ କିଛି ନ୍ୟୁମେରିକାଲ ଜିନିଷ ଗୁଡ଼ାକ କିଛି ମେନସନ୍ କରିବନି। ୟୁ ହାଭ୍ ଟୁ ସିମ୍ପଲି ମେନସନ୍ ସମଥିଙ୍ଗ ଲାଇକ୍ ଦିସ୍। ଇଫ୍ ୟୁ ଟେଲ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ପର୍ସନ୍ ସାର୍ ଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡାର୍ଡ ଡିଭିଏସନ୍ 17 ବାହାରିଲା, ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ କ୍ଲାଏଣ୍ଟ ୱଣ୍ଟ ବି ଟେକିଂ ଇଣ୍ଟରେଷ୍ଟ। ସେ କିଛି ଇଣ୍ଟରେଷ୍ଟ ନେବେନି, ସେ କହିବେ ଆରେ 17 ବାହାରୁ କି 700 ବାହାରୁ ମୁଁ କ'ଣ ଜାଣିବି, ମତେ ତୁ କହ କି ମୋ ବିଜନେସ୍ ହିସାବରେ ମୁଁ କ'ଣ ବୁଝିବାକୁ ଚାହୁଁଛି। ଓକେ, ସो ଏଇ ଜାଗାରେ ତମର କ'ଣ ଦରକାର ପଡ଼ିବ, କମ୍ୟୁନିକେସନ୍। ରିମେମ୍ବର ହାଉ ୟୁ ଆର୍ ରିପ୍ରେଜେଣ୍ଟିଂ, communication, yeah, how you are presenting something to a person, your smartness, communication matters here while explaining something to the client। କିନ୍ତୁ ତା ଆଗରୁ ଏଇଗୁଡ଼ାକ ଦରକାର ଯୋଉଟା କି knowledge, this is nothing but knowledge। You should be knowing what you have to do, what is standard deviation, how you are interpreting it। So it is all about knowledge, but delivering something comes up with standard communication। Fine, so both the things you must be having। Okay, and remember, it is not even required to give any uh, business insights, business suggestion. Even business suggestion is sometimes required, but not every time। business requirement, business suggestion requirement সেটা ବି ତମେ ଚାହିଁଲେ ପିପିଟିରେ ଲେଖିକିରି ଆଟଲିଷ୍ଟ ନେଇକି ଯାଇଥିବ। ବଟ୍ ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ନଟ୍ ୟୁର ୱାର୍କ। ରିମେମ୍ବର, ୟୁ ଆର୍ ନଟ୍ ଦ ବସ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ କମ୍ପାନୀ। ତମେ ଗୋଟେ ଡେଟା ଆନାଲିଷ୍ଟ କି ଡେଟା ସାଇଣ୍ଟିଷ୍ଟ ଯିଏକି ତମ ତମ କାମ କରିକି ତମେ ଯାଉଛ ଖାଲି ତାକୁ ଟିକେ ଆଇଡିଆ ଦେବାକୁ। बिजनेस सजेशन देवा दरकार नहीं। बिजनेस सजेशन में कौन देते सर एवरेज मार्क इज 55 फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल। सर पीपल शुड बी गेटिंग गुड मार्क्स सर। सर प्लीज फोकस ऑन योर कोर्स करिकुलम और व्हाई स्टूडेंट्स आर नॉट गेटिंग गुड मार्क्स। ओके, if the mean mark is something around 75 or 80, it makes sense, is not it, in a classroom। but if the mean mark, average mark is nothing but 55, sir maybe some faults are there in your class, so please go and rectify it। तो एगुड़ा सब सजेशन रे जाउछ। तो सजेशन कहला बेले टिके फॉर्मेलिटी, फॉर्मल वर्ड्स गुड़ा पर्टिकुलरली यूज हो हैला। बट दिस थिंग्स आर अवॉइडेड, व्हाई, बिकॉज यू आर नॉट रेस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर गोइंग विथ दिस थिंग्स। ओके, ये जे तुम सहित क्लाएंट मीटिंग हैला बेले तीनटा चारटा लोक थांती, जे सीनियर मोस्ट लोक थिवो सी ही एई सब कथा कहि परिबो, हैला कि नॉट यू। and if you become senior then obviously you can also give some suggestion। क्योंकि सजेशन भी क्लाइंट को दरकार पड़े। फाइन, से माने सब किसी डिसीजन निजे नहीं पारंतिनी, स्पेशली स्मॉल इंडस्ट्रीज, मीडियम स्केल इंडस्ट्रीज। See, then we have something called a range is very easy। range is nothing but the minimum value and the maximum value that marks regarding things। someone got 20 and someone else got 98। so I can say that the range of marks scored by people are from 20 to 98 sir। 20 ରୁ 98 ଭିତରେ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କର ପିଲାମାନଙ୍କର ମାର୍କ ସବୁ ଆସୁଛି। so this is what range is, this is what range is, remember। fine, and range will not matter that much if you know variance and standard deviation। then ତମେ ଜାଣିଯିବ କି disperse values ଗୁଡାକ କେତେ ହଉଛି। range ବି ତମକୁ ସେଇ ଆଇडिଆ ହିଁ ଦବ overall। okay, if your range is something like this, that means the data is varying a lot, is not it? 20 ରୁ 98, ହଁ ଯଦି ମୁଁ range କହିଥାନ୍ତି 60 to 90, 60 to 90, that means range is less। 60 is minimum, 90 is maximum, range is less। so what can I say? okay, range is less, that means data is dispersed very less। बहुत कम ही डेटा डिस्पर्स करुଛି। ପାଖାପାଖି ସବୁ mean ପାଖାପାଖି ଆସୁଛି, mean ବି ତାଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ ହିଁ ପାଖାପାଖି ଆସିଯିବ, is not it? but here the variance is more, standard deviation is more, and even the range is more, 20 to 98। so this is what range is। so ultimately these three things should be giving you the idea of measurement of dispersion, how much the data is getting dispersed। okay, fine, so everything is having range। even bullets, sorry, gun, rocket launcher, they would be having some range। କେତେ ଦୂର ଯାଏ ସେ ଯାଇପାରିବ once you fire, up to what distance that bullet would be going. So every material is having some range. Okay, material in the sense especially those defense related things. Okay. Anyway, so data रे भी range था and remember range रो formula था that is nothing but maximum minus minimum. If someone is asking, tell me the range, you should be asking that person, sir, are you asking me the formula for range? If the person is saying yes, then you should be using this one. Maximum value minus minimum value कर दो, सेटा is range. And if the person is asking, no, no, please tell me the range, I don't need any formula, then you should be saying, sir, the values are varying from 20 to 98. तो minimum टा कहइबो, maximum टा कहइबो. ଆଉ ए formula use କରିବା ଦରକାର ନାହିଁ. Okay? But the formula for calculating range from statistical point of view is maximum minus minimum. ହଁ ଏଇଟା once ମୁଁ 4 moments of business decision ଛାଡ଼ିଦେଲା ପରେ I would be going to code. Okay. तो ये ଗୋଟେ part ଗଲା that is nothing but measure of dispersion. Fine. The same formulas I have written. Okay. Now before going to this one, the next moment of business decision, many times people would be getting confused with something called expected value versus mean. Versus mean. Most of the people would be saying, sir, दोनों same ही है. But anyone aware of expected value by any chance? Class 10th, 11th, 12th ରେ ପଢିଥିବ. mean तो ସମସ୍ତେ ପଢିଛନ୍ତି but expected value term କେବେ ଶୁଣିଛ ଆଗରୁ? Okay, fine. देखो, expected value is different from mean guys. Okay, if someone is saying कि दोनों same है, it is not like that. क्यों? किंतु बहुत जगह तमे देखियो expected value mean को से same ही कर दियंती. Same करी बुझे दियंती. कहती कि हाँ दोनों same है, but it is not like that. See, expected means you are expecting something, is not it? You are expecting something from someone. So the meaning also for expected mean is same only. Here you are going to expect what will be the score, what will be the mark, what will be the salary. You are expecting something. And remember, expected value deals with probability distribution. Expected value calculate करने के लिए you should be knowing the probability of that particular event. Probability. Probability. Expected value deals with probability distribution. Fine. And mean deals with frequency distribution. mean calculate कला बेला किसी probability यूज नहीं. Simply frequency मैंने the number of terms present how many times, simply take it, get the sum of it, divide by n, that is nothing but your mean. But coming to expected value, you should be having the probability value. See, for example, I'm giving the example of cricket only because this is quite familiarized. Okay, many people would be knowing. Virat Kohli's score. Virat Kohli's score. X is nothing but the score. Okay, can anyone tell me X can also be known as ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ କ'ଣ ଆମେ ପଢିଥିଲୁ ଇନଫରେନ୍ସିଆଲ ଷ୍ଟାଟିଷ୍ଟିକ୍ସରୁ ଜଷ୍ଟ ପ୍ରିଭିୟସଲି ପଢିଥିଲୁ ଯୋଉଠିକି ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କର ମୁଡ୍ ସବୁ ଥିଲା. ମୁଡ୍ ଇଜ ଚେଞ୍ଜିଂ something like this. You do remember? These are known as random values, random variables or random values. So X is nothing but random values here. Okay, remember random values. So the score, this is nothing but score only. Randomly the scores are present. So score of Virat Kohli is 20 runs. Here I am putting 50. Here I am putting 70. Here I am putting 100. Fine. Now see, from the past record, the probability of getting 50 out of all other this one scores or something like this, ମୁଁ randomly दे दूची. Probability of scoring 50 is 0.2. That means 20% chance ଅଛି कि ସେ 20 score କରିବ. 50 score କରିବାର 3. This is nothing but 4. This is nothing but 1. Remember, total probability is 1. Summation of probability is 1. Total probability should be 1. And even the highest value of probability is also 1. So here these are the probability values given for random values. And someone is asking the expected value. Remember, expected value is how much you are expecting Virat Kohli to score in the next match. एई जगह से केते स्कोर करिवो. How much you are expecting from Virat Kohli to score in the next match is given by expected value. Remember, and the formula for expected value is given by summation of I is equals to 1 to n x of I into probability of x of I. The expected value calculate कला बड़े probability distribution नहीं आ जाए. Probability of scoring those runs should be present. It should be present. Past records द्वारा ସେମାନେ probability value तो find out करथिबे. Now using those you can expect how much he is going to score. And the same concept is used even in the real cricket, guys. Okay, କେବେ ଦେଖିଥିବ କ୍ରିକେଟ ମ୍ୟାଚ୍ ଚାଲିଛି ଗୋଟେ ତଳେ ବାର୍ ଆସିଯିବ ଲେଖା ହେଇଥିବ ହାଉ ମଚ୍ ବିରାଟ କୋହଲି ଇଜ ଗୋଇଂ ଟୁ ସ୍କୋର this time. କେବେ କେବେ ଆସେ, rare cases. So that is nothing but expected value. And see, it would be coming up as xi into probability of xi. So 20 into the corresponding probability value, it is nothing but 0.2 plus 50 into 0.3 plus 70 into 0.4 plus 100 into 0.1. Whatever value you got, that is nothing but the expected value. Based on the past records, you expected something from Virat Kohli. That is nothing but this score. This score will be coming up. How much you are expecting from him in the next match? Expected value. What about this one? Uh, mean. Mean is very easy. Whatever score he had scored, okay, 20 plus कौन थीला 50 थीला 70 थीला 100 थीला, is not it? Simply take the sum of all these scores and simply divide it by 4. That is nothing but average score. Average score, that means on an average how much Virat Kohli scores. সেটা भी तब stats रे आस्थिव जेतବେଳେ क्रिकेट स्टार्ट होची, here the image of that person is coming up and एठी तमरा average आସୁची, is not it? Average batting score of Virat Kohli, that is basically calculated because of this one. लास्ट माने पास्ट 100 मैचेस रे से जेतिकी स्कोर करथिबे तार समेशन डिवाइड बाय 100. That is nothing but average. So average batting performance of Virat Kohli is this much. But expected value is how much he is going to score in the next match. How much you are expecting from him to score in the next match based on the probability distribution. That is what expected value is. Fine. So you can remember this example. It would be good. And mostly expected value concept is basically used, in the formulas and all. Formula solve kala bele, and you guys are not required to solve anything. But still, college students for them semesters रे तो ये सब question मु देवी ही देवी. कहना mathematics. I love mathematics, and even I want you guys to love mathematics. Okay, so see, suppose I am giving something like this. My x values are given like this: 2, 3, 5, 8, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and the probability values I am giving something like this: 0. 0.1, 0.3, 0.2. Fine. I am giving you something like this. Expected value E represented by E. Find out the expected value of x square. X square. Remember, x square use করছো तो ସେଇ ଫର୍ମୁଲାରେ କୋଉଠି ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହବ, ଏଇ ଜାଗାରେ ଖାଲି ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହବ x ସ୍କୋୟାର xi ର ସ୍କୋୟାର, ବାକି ଜାଗାରେ ଚେଞ୍ଜେସ୍ ହବ ନାହିଁ. It will still remain probability of xi. You shouldn't be squaring it. Did I give you probability, this is nothing but probability of xi. Did I give you probability of xi square? No, I have given you probability of xi, so you have to keep as it is, but you have to go with this particular change. Just try it, get me the value. Okay, before that let me give you another value. ଏଇଟା ତ ତମକୁ ଗୋଟେ hint ଦେଇଦେଲି, ତମେ ଖାଲି ପକେଇଦବ ପାଇଯିବ. Okay, what about this one? Expected value of x minus 1 whole square. Okay, just give me the final solution. कौन आसियो? Expected value of x minus 1 whole square. Okay, anyone got it? କେତେ ଆସିଲା ସାଇଲକ୍ଷ୍ମୀ କରୁଛ ସଲ୍ଭ କରୁଛ କି? Okay, and what about others? ଆଉ ତମ ସାଙ୍ଗମାନେ ସବୁ ଗାୟବ ହେଇଗଲେ ସାଇଲକ୍ଷ୍ମୀ। ମୁଁ କହିଲି ତମ ସାଙ୍ଗ ହରିକା ସବୁ ଗାୟବ ହେଇଗଲେ, 2 ଜଣ ଜଏନ୍ କରିଥିଲେ। ପାଠ କେହି କେହି ପଢୁନାହାନ୍ତି ବୁଝିଲ। ସେ ମେଘନା ତ କିଛି ମାନେ ପଢୁନି ଦେଖିବାକୁ ଗଲେ। ସେ ଏଗୁଡ଼ା କ୍ଲାସ୍ କିଛି କରିନଥିଲା, ତାକୁ କହିଲି କି ଏଟା ଜଏନ୍ କରିଦେ ଆଟଲିଷ୍ଟ କଣ୍ଟିନ୍ୟୁ କରିବ। ଦେଖ ସେ ନିଜେ ହିଁ ଜଏନ୍ କରିନି। ଲିଙ୍କ ତ ସେଇ ସେୟାର କରିଥିବ ନିହାତି। ଛାଡ଼ ଆଉ କଣ କରିହବ। ଓକେ, see here x minus 1 square. So it is nothing but 2 minus 1 whole square. 2 minus 1 is 1. So 1 into 0.1. Okay, the formula for this one would be x minus 1 whole square into probability of xi. Fine. As I told you, whatever you are putting it here, that is nothing but your x. Simply replace your x with this particular thing and simply give probability of xi as it is. Plus, again, 3 minus 1 माने 2, 2 square is 4, 4 into this one 0.3 plus 5 minus 1 4, 4 square is 16, 16 into the corresponding probability value 0.2. Likewise 8 minus 1 is 7, 7 square 49, 49 into 0.2 plus 1 minus 1 whole square, 1 minus 1 is 0, तो 0 होगा वो कौन, and simply we need to solve it. That's it. Understood, Risita? Fine. Okay. So this is how it works. I didn't mention anything. I didn't mention that example, Virat Kohli's example, but you can remember that. Okay, the ଏଠି expected value ଗୋଟେ normal example ଅଛି calculate କେମିତି କରାହେଇଛି. Okay. Anyway, you should be knowing it. Why? Reason is here. See, we have something called skewness. Skewness ର ଦେଖ e x minus mu whole cube ଲେଖା ହେଇଛି. So no one is going to ask you to solve it, expand it, but you should be knowing ये e क्या होता है. E is nothing but expected value and how to calculate. Just one example I gave you. Okay, in the same way you have to calculate. Now, see, second moment of business decision told you about the measure of dispersion. Fine, how much the data is going to vary. Fine, if standard deviation is less. Okay, can anyone tell me? Can standard deviation be negative? And what happened? Just go to that formula, back to that formula, and just analyze it and tell me. Can standard deviation be negative? Why? Hmm. Okay, just go to that formula, coming to that formula. Variance. First of all, variance you calculate karucha, x minus mu ra whole square karucha. Okay, and n is a positive number, is not it? Can n be negative? No, it is positive. And here you are squaring. Remember, whenever you are squaring, तो एटा positive ଆସିଯିବ। ଆଉ ତଳଟା ବି positive ଅଛି। ତ that means variance is positive. If variance is positive and you are taking the root over of a positive number, you would be getting a positive number, is not it? Okay, so ଏଇଟା ଟିକେ logically ଭାବିବ। ଏମିତିଆ question ବି ତମକୁ ପଚାରି ପାରନ୍ତି ଯଦି in depth ସେମାନେ ପଶିକି ତମର mathematical statistical knowledge ଧର check କରିବାକୁ ଚାହିଁବେ। Some companies are there. They want to check your statistical knowledge. Some companies are there. They want to check your coding knowledge। ସେଠି କୋଡ୍ ଉପରେ ଫୋକସ୍ କରନ୍ତି। ଆଉ କିଛି କିଛିଟା ଥାଏ ସେ ଡାଇରେକ୍ଟ ପ୍ରୋଜେକ୍ଟ ଉପରେ ପଚାରିଦେବେ ଆଚ୍ଛା ଟେଲ୍ ମି ହ୍ୱାଟ ୟୁ ହାଭ୍ ଡନ୍ ଇନ୍ ଏ ପ୍ରୋଜେକ୍ଟ ଦୋଜ କମ୍ପାନିଜ ଆର୍ ମୋଷ୍ଟଲି ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟଅପ୍ କମ୍ପାନିଜ ଷ୍ଟାର୍ଟଅପ୍ this sorry not startup MNCs MNCs ରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ତମେ ଯାଉଛ ବଡ଼ କମ୍ପାନୀରେ ସେମାନେ ଏସବୁ ଜିନିଷରେ ଏତେ ଧ୍ୟାନ ଦିଅନ୍ତିନି why because first of all MNC ରେ ପଶିବାକୁ ହେଲେ you need experience good amount of experience ଆଉ experience ନେଇକି ଯାଉଛ ତ ଏସବୁ ସେ ଜାଣିଛନ୍ତି ଗୋଟେ ପିଲା ଏତେ ବର୍ଷ କାମ କରିଛି the person won't be able to recall oh now is it coming Arey, I didn't connect to Wi-Fi. The reason is here current was there till 3 p.m. All of a sudden, someone came and someone started working on those big machines and all. Current gone. ତ ସେ ଲୋକ ଆସିକିରି କରିବ ଠିକ କେବେ କେଜାଣି ହଉଛି ତ ଆଇ କନେକ୍ଟେଡ୍ ଥ୍ରୁ ମାଇ ମୋବାଇଲ ଫୋନ ଏବେ ଆସୁଛି କି ଏବେ ଶୁଭୁଛି ନାउ ଇଜ ଇଟ୍ କମିଂ ଆଚ୍ଛା wait okay fine is it coming now is it coming ଏବେ ଆସୁଛି now is it coming can anyone clarify please say same ah ଏବେ ଶୁଭୁଛି ଏବେ ମତେ ଲାଗୁଛି ଆସୁଥିବ now I guess it would be coming up still ସେଇଭଳିଆ ହଁ ମତେ ତ ତମ ଭଏସ ତ ଭଲସେ ଶୁଭା ହଉଛି ହଁ ସିଏ ହଁ ହେଇଯାଉଛି ମଝିରେ ମଝିରେ କଣ କରିବା ଏଇ ମୋବାଇଲ ନେଟ ର ଏଇ ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ୱାଇଫାଇ କନେକ୍ସନ ରେ କିଛି ଅସୁବିଧା ନାହିଁ ଆଉ ୱାଇଫାଇ ଜଷ୍ଟ ଲେଟ୍ ମି ଚେକ୍ ୱାଇଫାଇ ଆସ କରେଣ୍ଟ ଆଇଲା କି ନାହିଁ okay wait let me just fine it would be fine now okay 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 so you should be just analyzing that formula ଟିକେ recall କରିବ ଆଉ ଭାବିବ କି ଏଟା ପଜିଟିଭ ହବ କି ନେଗେଟିଭ ହବ ତ ଏମିତି ପ୍ରେସରାଇଜ୍ଡ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ୍ସ ମୋଷ୍ଟଲି ଇଣ୍ଟରଭ୍ୟୁରେ ଟାର୍ଗେଟ କରନ୍ତି ହେଲା କି ଆଉ ସେଇଭଳିଆ ତ ହୁଏ ଇଜି କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚନ୍ସ ଥିବ କିନ୍ତୁ ଟିକେ ବୁଲେଇ ବାଲେଇକି ପଚାରୁଥିବେ ଟିକେ ତମକୁ ପ୍ରେସରାଇଜ କରିବେ ନର୍ଭସ୍ ଫିଲ୍ ଟିକେ କରେଇଦେବେ ଓକେ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଦିସ୍ ଥିଙ୍ଗସ୍ ଆର୍ ନଥିଙ୍ଗ ଇଫ୍ ୟୁ appear for SSB ଇଣ୍ଟରଭ୍ୟୁ ଆର୍ମି ର ଯୋଉ ଇଣ୍ଟରଭ୍ୟୁ ହୁଏ ସେଠି ତ ହେଭି ଲେଭେଲର ନର୍ଭସନେସ୍ ଫ୍ୟାକ୍ଟର ସବୁ ଆସେ ଓକେ so if those of you whoever attended such kind of interview AFSB या SSB ସର୍ଟ ତମର କିଛି ବି ଅଫିସିଆଲ ଲେଭେଲର ଏକ୍ସାମ ଯଦି ଦବ ସେଠି ଇଣ୍ଟରଭ୍ୟୁ 1 hour ଯାଏ non technical but they would be asking you some pressurized question okay something like this suppose you are sitting in this room tell me the area of this room what would be the area of this room now you should be analyzing कि अरे भाई एरिया ମୁଁ କେମିତି କଣ କହିବି ଏରିଆର ଫର୍ମୁଲା ତ ବହୁତ ସାରା ଅଛି ରେକ୍ଟାଙ୍ଗଲର ସ୍କୋୟାରର ତ ତମକୁ ଆଗେ ରୁମ୍ କୁ ଦେଖିବାକୁ ପଡେ ଇଜ ଇଟ୍ ଅଣ୍ଡର ସ୍କୋୟାର ସେପ୍ ଅର ରେକ୍ଟାଙ୍ଗୁଲାର ସେପ୍ ନାଉ ୟୁ ହାଭ୍ ଟୁ ଏଷ୍ଟିମେଟ୍ ଗୋଟେ ଏଷ୍ଟିମେସନ ଦେବାର ଅଛି ତାର ୱିଡଥ କେତେ ଲେନ୍ଥ କେତେ अपार्ट ସେଇ ସବୁ କଲା ପରେ ଫର୍ମୁଲା ପକେଇକିରି ତମେ କିଛି ନା କିଛି ଗୋଟେ assumptions not assumptions approximate value କହିବ approximate value सो ସେମାନେ ୱେଟ୍ କରିନାହାନ୍ତି ତମର କରେକ୍ଟ ଭ୍ୟାଲ୍ୟୁ ଜାଣିବାକୁ, ସେମାନେ ଚାହୁଁଛନ୍ତି ସେ ପିଲାଟା କେମିତି ସିଚୁଏସନକୁ ହ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡେଲ କରିକି ଆନ୍ସରଟା କହୁଛି। ओके सो सही यही हुए कमिंग टू यूपीएससी एग्जाम्स, यूपीएससी इंटरव्यूज एंड ऑल फाइनल मेंस पर जो हुए इंटरव्यू कॉल्स, सेठी भी सीआई हुए। ସେମାନେ ଚାହୁଁନାହାନ୍ତି କି ତମେ ଏକଦମ ସେ କରେକ୍ଟ ଟୁ କରେକ୍ଟ ଆନ୍ସର କୁହ, ସେମାନେ କିଛି ପ୍ରେସରାଇଜ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ପଚାରିବେ ଜଷ୍ଟ ଟୁ ଚେକ୍ whether you are able to handle it or not, ହେଲା କି। ଆଉ ପ୍ରେସରାଇଜ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଏଥିପାଇଁ ପଚରାଯାଏ କାହିଁକିନା ସିଏ ଜାଣିବାକୁ ଚାହାନ୍ତି କି ଇନ୍ ଫ୍ୟୁଚର ସପୋଜ ୟୁ ଆର୍ ଗୋଇଂ ଟୁ ୱାର୍କ ୱିଥ୍ ଦେମ୍, will you be able to handle the pressure? Pressure in the sense someone is scolding you, someone is asking you to complete the task within 1 hour. Will you be able to do such things? तो ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଟିକେ ସେମାନେ क्वेश्चन ସେଇଭଳିଆ ଟାଇପର ପଚାରନ୍ତି। ଓକେ ସୋ ଟିକେ କାମ୍ ହେଇକିରି ଯଦି କାମ କରିବ ମାନେ ଆନ୍ସର ଦେବାକୁ ଟ୍ରାଏ କରିବ ଦେନ୍ ଇଟ୍ ୱିଲ୍ ବି ଫାଇନ୍। ଏତେ ନର୍ଭସନେସ୍ ଟେଣ୍ଡେନ୍ସି ତ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କର ରହିଥାଏ ବଟ୍ ୟୁ ସୁଡ୍ ବି ଆଭଏଡିଂ ଇଟ୍, ଟିକେ ତ ଆଭଏଡ୍ କରିବ। Anyway, so we are going to jump into the third moment of business decision. Third moment. Remember, third moment tells you about asymmetricity. Asymmetricity. What is asymmetricity? Symmetric. Symmetry is nothing but suppose this is your mirror. See, this is your mirror. You are standing right in front of mirror. पूरा middle रे ठिया ହେଇଛ ତମେ ଏଠି। Suppose I break the mirror from the middle. Okay, half of your body would be showing here and half of your body would be showing here. Is not it? Equal manner. Why? Because you broke the mirror right at the middle position. ହେଲା। दिस इज व्हाट सिमेट्रिसिटी इज। सिमेट्रिकली तमे मिरर टाको भांगिलो पूरा मिडिल रे। इन द सेम वे गोटे पेपर नहीं करी जदि मु मझिरु फोल्ड करने ट्राई करी, दिस पेपर वुड बी ओवरलैपिंग ऑन दिस पर्टिकुलर साइड, इज नॉट इट? ए साइड टा ओवरलैप हो, अब भल से भी ओवरलैप हो। बट इफ आई गो एंड फोल्ड द पेपर फ्रॉम दिस पर्टिकुलर साइड, विल इट बी ओवरलैपिंग? नो। what will happen? It will not overlap. ये खाली एतिक जाए ही यदि मैं फोल्ड करी ना, it will be simply coming to this particular portion. It will not completely fill it up. This is known as asymmetricity, which is not symmetrical in nature. Okay, equally divide ହେଇନି। तो ସେଇ ଜିନିଷଟା ଜାଣିବାକୁ ପାଉ ଆମେ ଏଠି। Okay, it also gives you the idea of direction of distribution। ये तुमको direction of distribution ର idea भी दे दिए कोड़ा third moment of business decision। So it will be helping you to know the direction of distribution. Okay, code direction रे केते distribution होची। Fine. Now here the parameter that we are going to learn is nothing but skewness. 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 If someone is asking what is skewness, you should be saying so. Skewness distribution will be allowing you to know how much is the asymmetricity. Okay, it defines you asymmetricity. Simply defines you asymmetricity. What is asymmetricity? Non মানে equally folding no non equal distribution, unequal distribution or not normal distribution, not normal distribution। normal distribution is symmetric in nature। ये ला normal distribution जदि मैं मझिरु काटिबी एपटे 50% डेटा एपटे 50% डेटा जीव। what if you are having one distribution like this? एमती आसीगला यदि ମୁଁ ଏଠି କାଟିବି will it be fine? 50% upon 50%? No, it won't be 50-50। ଏଠି 20% ଆସିପାରେ ଆଉ ଏପଟେ ସରି ହଁ ଏପଟେ 20% ଏପଟେ 80% ବି ଆସିପାରେ। who knows? Okay, so this is known as asymmetric distribution। asymmetrically you cut it or you cleared up that particular graph। so ଏଇଟା बताए कि ତମର skewness। ଆଉ skewness ର ଫର୍ମୁଲାଟା ଏମିତି ଦେଇଛି, it is nothing but expected value of x minus mu whole cube। so how can you write it? It is nothing but x minus u whole cube into probability of that particular xi। okay, before that you have to calculate mu, you have to calculate the probability and you have to go and multiply it, you have to take the summation of it। बहुत बड़ा process। is it required to do? No, it is not required to be done। even no one is going to ask you to expand it and completely do the task। but before that you should be knowing एटा कौन जोटा कि तुमको एग्जांपल देथिली ମୁଁ। okay, and divided by sigma cube and how to remember this formula? remember ये third moment use करछो ना तो एटी 3 use कर दो। this is how you can remember the formula। ଗୋଟେ trick देखिया गले। fine। and what is x? x is nothing but random variable। देखो सबोटे random variable ही use करा जाउछि। random variable random values। Even in your columns, if someone is asking, okay, tell me few of the columns, you should be saying sir salary ଗୋଟେ column ଥିଲା ଏଥିରେ କ'ଣ ଥିଲା, you should be saying sir random values of salary as present, random values of salaries are present here in this particular column. So you have to remember some of the terminologies. Okay, now see, skewness can be of two types. Asymmetricity ଦି ପ୍ରକାର ହେଇଥାଏ ପାରେ, ଗୋଟେ ଏମିତି ହେଇଥାଏ ପାରେ, ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଏମିତି ହେଇଥାଏ ପାରେ. This could be the two types of skewness. This is known as positive skewness. Why positive? এই जो tail ଟା ଦେଖୁଛ, এই tail ଟା ଏପଟ side ରେ ଅଧିକ lengthy ହେଇକି ରହିଛି, extend ହେଇଛି. ଆଉ ଏପଟ ଯୋଉ skewness ଟାକୁ negative skewness କାହିଁ କୁହାଯିବ? କାହିଁକି ନା this particular tail has been elongated left side. ଏ left side କୁ elongate ହେଇଛି ଅଧିକ. ଏଟା right side କୁ ହେଇଛି, ଏଟା ଅଧିକ left side କୁ ହେଇଛି. So this is how you can analyze which one is which type of skewness. Positive skewness କୁ କୁହାଯାଏ. Okay, or else you can call it as right skewness. ये negative skewness or negative, left skewness भी କହିପାରିବ. Fine. This is one is right skewness, this one is left skewness. Okay. Now can anyone tell me? Now can anyone tell me? Okay, this one is positive skewness, negative skewness. That means if the skewness value is greater than zero, you are getting, then that is nothing but positive skewness. If you check the graph would be coming up like this. And if your skewness value is negative, that means less than zero को negative କୁହାଯାଏ, is not it? ତାହେଲେ ତମ ଗ୍ରାଫଟା ଏମିତି ଆସିବାର ଚାନ୍ସେସ୍ ଅଛି. ଚାନ୍ସେସ୍ ଅଛି କ'ଣ, ଏମିତି ତ ଆସିବ ହିଁ ଆଉ, ଦେଖିବ ତମେ. What if you are going to get a graph like this? ये ହେଲା zero skewness zero, exactly zero may be ତମେ ପାଇ ନ ପାର, କିନ୍ତୁ ସେ zero ପାଖାପାଖି ଗୋଟେ value ପାଇବ. Basically it is taken as 0.5 ରୁ plus 0.5 minus 0.5 ରୁ plus 0.5 ଯାଏ ଯଦି ତମର skewness ର value ଆସୁଛି, that is nothing but no, symmetric distribution, or we can say call it as normal distribution. So it is not skewed. It is not skewed. Normally distribution. Then a zero pakhabagi value is not it. Basically, if the value is lying less than -1, we call it as negative skewness. Man skewness thibo hi thibo. Or the greater than 1 astuchi, that is nothing but positive skewness. Generally, I'm speaking. Okay. Okay. Now see why this particular tail is elongated on the right side. ये काहे कि एते right side को elongate करा होची. It is because of outliers. Outliers. Remember, if you are using skewness, then skewness will be able to tell you whether you have outliers or not in your data set. What is outlier? Extreme value. Extreme value. For example, marks of students. People have scored the marks like this, 60, 65, 62, 58, okay, 40, 45, 70, something like this. And a person is there who has scored 100, and the person is there who has scored 99. See, these two marks are highest marks. And all these people have scored the marks near to each other, is not it? देखो पाखापाखि मार्क आनिछंती, ये दिटा पिला काफी एक्सट्रीम मार्क आनिछंती, रेयर केसेस. तो आंको वैल्यू गुड़ाक यही साइड आसो, इज नॉट इट? एक्सट्रीम एंड आसो आंको वैल्यू. Since their values are coming at the extreme end and most of the other values are coming here, that is the reason why the curve has been extended like this on the right side. In the same way, our good example, salary of people are given like this: 50k, 40k, 30k, 45k, 55k, and another person is there who has scored, who is getting only, sorry, 1k. 1k, the person is getting 1000 only. It is very less compared to all these values, is not it? So all these values are close to each other, they would be coming up in this side, e side आସୁଛି. କିନ୍ତୁ ଏଇଟା ଗୋଟେ ବହୁତ ଛୋଟ value, that is the reason why your curve is tending towards the left side. Here it would be something coming up. Fine. So this particular skewness is very much helpful for business decision. This is a powerful method, guys. Powerful method. बहुत powerful ଅଛି. बहुत କିଛି ଏଠୁ ଜାଣିବାକୁ ପଡେ skewness ଦ୍ୱାରା. Okay. For example, manufacturing company. Manufacturing company, the company is producing a particular material. You know what I should be saying, which material? Or example, ice cream cells. Ice cream cells. देखिए, ice cream cells are data. The data is given like this. I don't know the month name or the year name. Simply मते ଗୋଟେ data दिया ହେଇଛି. It's something like this. 20K, 30K, 10K, 50K, and I have something called 200K, and I also have something called 5K, and I also have something called 25K. Okay, just for now, let me remove this one, 5K. Instead of 5K, let me give 55K. Okay. Now see this. Now see this. Now tell me, guys, 20K, 30K, 10K, even this 50, even this 55, 25, all these are very close to each other. ଏତେ ତାଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ difference ନାହିଁ, ପାଖାପାଖି number ଆସୁଛି. But all of a sudden you got 200K. In the same way, you have something called something 170K भी ଗୋଟେ ଅଛି. These two numbers are extreme numbers, is not it? They would be impacting your graph. Now tell me, because of these extreme values, which graph you would be expecting, graph 1 or graph 2? Graph 1 you would be expecting. Why? Because these two values are very high. And since they are very high compared to all other values, ତମ ଏଇ କର୍ଭଟା ଟିକେ ରାଇଟ୍ ସାଇଡ୍କୁ ଟେଣ୍ଡ ହେଉଛି. ଯଦି ରାଇଟ୍ ସାଇଡ୍କୁ ଟେଣ୍ଡ ହେଉଛି ତମେ ପଜିଟିଭ୍ ସ୍କ୍ୟୁନେସ୍ ପାଇବ. ଯାଅ ତାର ସ୍କ୍ୟୁନେସ୍ ଭ୍ୟାଲ୍ୟୁ କାଲକୁଲେଟ୍ କର, ତମେ ପଜିଟିଭ୍ ଜିନିଷ ହିଁ ପାଇବ. ଆଉ ତାପରେ ଗ୍ରାଫ୍ ବି ଚେକ୍ କରିଦିଅ, ଗ୍ରାଫ୍ଟା ଏମିତି ଆସୁଛି. ଫାଇନ୍. Now from this what can we infer? ଏଇଠୁ ଆମେ କ'ଣ ବିଜନେସ୍ ଇନସାଇଟ୍ ଦେବା? ହଁ, ଷ୍ଟାଟିଷ୍ଟିକାଲ ଇନସାଇଟ୍ ପାଇଗଲ, ସ୍କ୍ୟୁନେସ୍ ଲେଖିଦେଲ ଏତିକି. That's fine. This is for your knowledge. Your knowledge or your boss knowledge. ତମେ ଯୋଉ କମ୍ପାନୀ ପାଇଁ କାମ କରୁଛ, କିନ୍ତୁ କ୍ଲାଏଣ୍ଟକୁ କେମିତି ବୁଝେଇବ? Tell me. Based on that previous example, ଏଇ previous exampleକୁ ନେଇକିରି ମତେ କୁହ କ'ଣ ଏଠୁ ବୁଝିଲ ଆଉ ତାର insights କ'ଣ ପାଉଛ? What insights you are getting because of this particular data and getting positive skewness? How can you explain to your client? For example, your client is a person from Mother's Dairy company. Mother's Dairy. Uh, will you say some values? Will you say some values instead of some values? କ'ଣ ୟୁଜ୍ କରିବା ତାଙ୍କୁ ତାଙ୍କ ଭାଷାରେ ବୁଝିବାକୁ, ତାଙ୍କ ପ୍ରଡକ୍ଟ ନା ୟୁଜ୍ କରିବା? You can say that, sir, whatever data you have given, from that I analyzed that sale of ice cream, sale of ice cream is very high sale of ice cream is there, very high sale or high sale of ice cream is very high for few cases, sir. For few cases, for very few cases, the sale of ice cream is very high. ମାନେ ବହୁତ କମ ସମୟ ଏମିତି ଦେଖା ହେଇଛି କି ତମର ଆଇସ୍କ୍ରିମ ସେଲଟା ବହୁତ ଅଧିକ ହେଇଯାଉଛି. ଏଇ ଜିନିଷଟା ତାକୁ ତମେ ବୁଝେଇବ. ସେଠୁ ସେ କ'ଣ ଜାଣିବ? ଓକେ, କେତେ ଥର ହାଇ ଅଛି? You should have done the calculation. ସିଏ ତାର ଅଲଗା calculation ଅଛି, ପଛରେ ଦେଖିବା. ତମେ କହିଲ ସାର୍ ଦିଥର. ସିଏ ଯାଇ କ'ଣ କରିବ? The person will be doing something like this. The person will be observing. ଆରେ ସିଏ ତାଙ୍କ କମ୍ପାନୀ ବାଲାକୁ କହିବ, ଆରେ ଦେଖିଲ 200K କୋଉ ମାସରେ ହେଇଛି? ସେମାନେ କହିବେ, ସାର୍ 200K ମାର୍ଚ୍ଚ ମାସରେ ହେଇଛି. 170K କେବେ ହେଇଛି? ସାର୍ ଏପ୍ରିଲ ମାସରେ ହେଇଛି. And this is very obvious. ସମର ସିଜନରେ ଆଇସ୍କ୍ରିମ୍ ସେଲ୍ ସବୁଠୁ ହାଇ ଥାଏ. ସମର ସିଜନରେ ଆଇସ୍କ୍ରିମ୍ ସେଲ୍ ସବୁଠୁ ହାଇ ଥାଏ. Then they would be getting the information. Okay, ମାର୍ଚ୍ଚ ଆଉ ଏପ୍ରିଲରେ ତାହେଲେ ଏମିତି ହେଇଛି. Okay, fine. So from that they would be getting some idea. Okay, 200K ଧର ଏଇ ବର୍ଷରେ ହେଇଯାଇଛି. ନେକ୍ସଟ ଇୟର, ନେକ୍ସଟ 2025 ମାର୍ଚ୍ଚ ମାସରେ ଆଠାରୁ ଆହୁରି ଅଧିକ ବଢ଼ିପାରେ, ହାଇଏଷ୍ଟ ମାନେ 200କୁ ବି କ୍ରସ୍ କରିପାରେ. At that time we should be manufacturing or producing, we should be producing more ice cream. ସିଏ ଏଇଟା ତାଙ୍କ କାମ, ଆମ କାମ ନୁହଁ. ସିଏ ତାଙ୍କର ଗୋଟେ ଡିସିଜନ ନେଲେ. ତ ଦେଖ ତମର ଏଇ ଗୋଟିଏ ଭ୍ୟାଲ୍ୟୁ ସ୍କ୍ୟୁନେସ୍ କେତେ ଅଲଗା ଅଲଗା ଡିସିଜନ ନେବାକୁ ହେଲ୍ପ କରୁଛି. ତାଙ୍କ ପାଇଁ। That is the reason why you being a data analyst you have to give some analysis to them. ଆଉ ଏଇ ଆନାଲିସିସ୍ ଖାଲି ଲେଖିଦେଲେ ହବନି, ୟୁ ହାଭ୍ ଟୁ ରିପ୍ରେଜେଣ୍ଟ ଇଟ୍ ଇନ୍ ଟର୍ମସ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଦିସ୍ ଗ୍ରାଫ୍ସ। ଗ୍ରାଫଟା ସେ ବୁଝିବ ହେଲା। ଆଉ ଗ୍ରାଫ୍ ଗୁଡ଼ାକୁ ରିପ୍ରେଜେଣ୍ଟ କରିବାକୁ ୟୁ ହ୍ୟାଭ୍ ସମଥିଙ୍ଗ କଲ୍ଡ ପାୱାର ବିଆଇ, ଟ୍ୟାବ୍ଲ୍ୟୁ, ଏଗୁଡ଼ା ତ ବହୁତ ବଢ଼ିଆରେ ଡିଜାଇନ୍ ବଗେରା କରିକି ଦେଖେଇ ପାରିବ। ଫର୍ ସର୍ଟ ଟର୍ମ ପାଇଥନରେ ବି କିଛିଟା ଗ୍ରାଫ୍ ହେଇଯିବ। ୟୁ କ୍ୟାନ୍ ଅଲସୋ ଟେକ୍ ଦ ହେଲ୍ପ ଅଫ୍ ପାଇଥନ୍ ଟୁ, ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ସ ଫାଇନ୍। ଓକେ। ହୁଁ। ହଁ, वी कॉल इट एज फेयरली स्क्यूड। वी कॉल इट एज फेयरली स्क्यूड। ହଁ, ମାନେ ତାକୁ ସ୍କ୍ୟୁନେସରେ ଗଣା ଯାଉଛି, ବଟ୍ ଇଫ୍ ୟୁ ଚେକ୍ ଦ ଡାଇଗ୍ରାମ ନା, ଆଉଟଲାୟର୍ସ ଗୋଟେ ଖଣ୍ଡ ଆଉଟଲାୟର ଥାଇପାରେ। ମାନେ ବେଶୀରୁ ବେଶୀ ଗୋଟେ ଖଣ୍ଡ, ଆଉ ତମ ଗ୍ରାଫଟା ତମକୁ ନର୍ମାଲ ଡିଷ୍ଟ୍ରିବ୍ୟୁସନ ଭଳିଆ ହିଁ ଦେଖାଯିବ, କିନ୍ତୁ ଭ୍ୟାଲ୍ୟୁ ପାଉଥିବ 0.5 କି -0.5। ହୁଁ। ହଁ, ମାନେ ଏଇଟା ଜେନେରାଲି କୁହାଯାଏ -1 ରୁ ତଳକୁ ଯଦି ଭ୍ୟାଲ୍ୟୁ ପାଇବ ତା ମାନେ ଆଉଟଲାୟର ଅଛି ହିଁ ଅଛି। ଅଧିକ ଆଉଟଲାୟର୍ସ ଅଛି ଦେଖିବାକୁ ଗଲେ। -0.5 ରୁ, ଆରେ ଏଇଟା ତମେ 0.5 ଲେଖ, ସେ ଏକା କଥା। ଦେଖ ତମେ ମାନେ ସେ ଜିରୋ ପାଖାପାଖି ଯଦି ଭ୍ୟାଲ୍ୟୁ ଆସୁଛି ନା, ତମେ ଯଦି ପ୍ଲଟ୍ କରିବ ତମକୁ ଗୋଟେ ନର୍ମାଲ ଡିଷ୍ଟ୍ରିବ୍ୟୁସନ ହିଁ ଲାଗିବ, ସିମ୍ପଲ କଥା ହେଲା କି। ତ ତମେ ତ କହିପାରିବ ୟେସ୍ ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ଫେୟାରଲି ସ୍କ୍ୟୁଡ୍, ଫେୟାରଲି ସ୍କ୍ୟୁଡ୍। ଆଉ ଏଇଟା ରେୟାର କେସେସରେ ହିଁ ଆସିବ, ଏମିତି କି ନାହିଁ କି ଯଦି ଆଉଟଲାୟର୍ସ ଥିବ, ଯଦି ଏକ୍ସଟ୍ରିମ୍ ଭ୍ୟାଲ୍ୟୁଜ୍ ଥିବ, ଅବଭିୟସ୍ କଥା ଏଇଟା -0.5 ତଳକୁ ହିଁ ଆସିଯିବ। ଏଇଟା -0.5 ଲେଖିବାର ଥିଲା। I written it as 1, why because I have observed most of the time 1 ରୁ ଅଧିକ ଗଲାକୁ ଭଲ ଭଲ ମାନେ ଗ୍ରାଫଟା ପୁରା ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହେଇକି ଆସିଯାଉଛି, ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଲେଖିଦେଇଥିଲି। ଓକେ, ବଟ୍ ରିମେମ୍ବର ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ -0.5 ରୁ 0.5 ଭିତରେ ଯଦି ଆସୁଛି ଦେନ୍ ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ଫେୟାରଲି ସ୍କ୍ୟୁଡ୍, ଫେୟାରଲି ସ୍କ୍ୟୁଡ୍ କହିପାରିବ। ଓକେ, ଏନିୱେ, ବଟ୍ ଆକର୍ଡିଂ ଟୁ ଦ ଫର୍ମୁଲା, ସ୍କ୍ୟୁନେସ୍ ନେଗେଟିଭ କେତେବେଳେ କୁହାଯିବ? when you have outliers on the left side. Skewness positive ତେବେ କୁହାଯିବ when you have outliers on the right side. Okay, and after getting the value of skewness you have to explain to that person in such a way that the person can understand। ତାକୁ ଏଇ ସବୁ ୱାର୍ଡ ୟୁଜ୍ କରେଇଦବନି, ସ୍କ୍ୟୁନେସ୍ କରେଇଦବନି, ୟୁଜ୍ କରିବା ୟୁଜ୍ କରେଇଦବନି, ନେଗେଟିଭ ପଜିଟିଭ ଏଗୁଡ଼ା କହିବନି, ସେ କିଛି ବୁଝିପାରିବନି। ଓକେ, ସୋ ଦିସ୍ ଇଜ something that you need to keep in mind। ଏବେ ଜଣା ପଡୁନି, why because you guys are learning, once you start working on project and start attending meetings and all, ସେତେବେଳେ ଯୋଉ ଗାଳିଟା ହଉଥିବ ଖାସ କରି କମ୍ପାନୀ ସିଇଓ କି ପ୍ରୋଜେକ୍ଟ ମ୍ୟାନେଜର ଠାରୁ, ସେତେବେଳେ ଜାଣିବ। why because ମୁଁ କାହିଁକିନା ମୁଁ ନିଜେ ବହୁତ ଗାଳି ଖାଇଛି ଏଇ ସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ପାଇଁ। ଓକେ, they gave me to write down create a ppt and write down the things and all। when I was writing down I was using some technical word, ମୋଡ୍ ଲେଖି ଦଉଥିଲି କୋଉଠି ନା କୋଉଠି। ହଁ, ତ ସିଏ ଏଗୁଡାକ ଚେକ୍ କରୁଥିଲେ, ମାନେ ବିଫୋର ଗୋଇଂ ଟୁ ଦ କ୍ଲାଏଣ୍ଟ ମିଟିଂ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଅଲ୍। ସିଏ କହୁଥିଲେ କି ଆରେ ଏସବୁ ଛାଡ, ଭଲସେ ଏମିତି ଲେଖି କିଛି ଟେକ୍ନିକାଲ ୱାର୍ଡ ନଥିବ। କାହିଁକିନା ଗୋଟେ ଇମ୍ପ୍ରେସନ ବି ମ୍ୟାଟର କରେ ନା, ଯଦି କିଛି ଟେକ୍ନିକାଲ ୱାର୍ଡ ୟୁଜ କରିଦେଇଛ, ଆଗକୁ ଯାଉଛ ଆଉ ସେ କ୍ଲାଏଣ୍ଟଟା ସମସ୍ତ ଆଗରେ ତମକୁ କହିଲା ଆରେ ହ୍ୱାଟ ଇଜ ଦିସ୍, at that time how will you explain? Okay, although you would be explaining, କିନ୍ତୁ ସେ କହିବ ଆରେ ଭାଇ ମତେ ଲେଖିକି ଦେଖା, ମତେ ବୁଝା ଆଉଥରେ ଭଲସେ, ତ ଗୋଟେ ଇମ୍ପ୍ରେସନ ଖରାପ ହେଇପାରେ। ତ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ସବୁ କିଛି ଆଗରୁ ଭାବି ଚିନ୍ତିକି ଲେଖିକିରି ନେଇକି ଯିବାକୁ ପଡେ, ପିପିଟି ବନେଇକି। Fine. Okay, so this is what skewness is। now it is your job, ମୁଁ ତମକୁ ଦିଟା ଦେବି, ଇଏ ଗୋଟେ ଗ୍ରାଫ ହେଲା, ଇଏ ଗୋଟେ ଗ୍ରାଫ ହେଲା। now tell me, this one is positive skewness, this one is negative skewness। you tell me the relation between mean, median, mode in this case and this case। mean, median, mode ଭିତରେ ରିଲେସନ ଟା ମତେ କୁହ ଭାବିକିରି କଣ ଥିବ, ପଜିଟିଭ ପାଇଁ ଆଉ ନେଗେଟିଭ ପାଇଁ। Okay, see, since your mean gets influenced by outlier, outlier ମାନେ extreme value, ଯଦି extreme value ଏପଟେ ଅଛି, mean ଟା ବି ତମର ସେଇପଟେ ଟାଣି ହେଇଯିବ, is not it? that is the reason why mean would be coming here। ଆଉ ମୋଡ ତମର ଏଇ ଯୋଉ ହାଇଟ୍ ଟା ଯୋଉଠି ଅଛି, that means most of the values are present here। ଏଇଠି ଥିବ ମୋଡ, ଏଠି mean ରହିଲା, ଏଠି ମୋଡ ରହିଲା। median is nothing but the middle most value, ମଝିରେ ହିଁ ଆସିବ 50%, 50 percentile of the value, it will be coming up here। So here in case of positive skewness, the relation is given by mean greater than median greater than mode। एपट केस उल्टा हो, मीन टा पूरा एपट टाणी हो, why because outliers are present on the left side। you have mode here, so fine, mode here, and median would be coming here। so here it would be mean is less than median is less than mode. Fine. So this is how it works. And important है तुम्हारा business insights. Remember, कहीं ना statistical जिनस समस्ते कर दियंती समस्ते ये जिनस सेम जिनस पढ़ुचंती समस्ते भी এই ফর্মুলা ହିଁ ইমপ্লিমেন্ট କରିବେ এই ଫଙ୍କସନ୍ ହିଁ ଇମ୍ପ୍ଲିମେଣ୍ଟ କରିବେ କିନ୍ତୁ ବୁଝେଇ କେତେ ଜଣ ପାଉଛନ୍ତି ସେଇଟା ହେଲା ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାଣ୍ଟ ଆଉ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଡେଟା ଆନାଲିଷ୍ଟ ପୋଜିସନରେ ତମର ଏକ୍ସପ୍ଲେନେସନ୍ ଡିପେଣ୍ଡ ବହୁତ କରେ କେମିତି ତମେ ଏକ୍ସପ୍ଲେନ୍ କରିପାରୁଛ ଜିନିଷଟାକୁ କାରଣ ଏଇ ଜିନିଷ ତ ସମସ୍ତେ ଜାଣିବେ ସମସ୍ତେ ସେ ଭ୍ୟାଲ୍ୟୁଟା ପାଇବେ କିନ୍ତୁ ହାଉ ୟୁ ଆର୍ ଏକ୍ସପ୍ଲେନିଂ ଟୁ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ପର୍ସନ୍ ଦିସ୍ ଇଜ୍ ହ୍ୱାଟ୍ ମ୍ୟାଟର୍ସ ହିୟର୍ ଓକେ ସୋ ଏଇଟା ଟିକେ ଧ୍ୟାନ ଦେବ ବିଜନେସ୍ ଇନସାଇଟ୍ସ ଫାଇଣ୍ଡ ଆଉଟ୍ କରିବା ultimately you are going to work on a project where you are going to explain the things to your client not to your manager को तो technically କିଛି କହିଦବ ସେ ବୁଝିଯିବ କାରଣ ସେ ବି ଜାଣିଛି ସବୁ ପଢିଛି ତାର ବଟ୍ କ୍ଲାଏଣ୍ଟ କୁ ବୁଝେଇବାକୁ ହେଲେ ସିଏ ତ ନୂଆ ଲୋକ ନା ତାଙ୍କୁ ଏଇ ସବୁ ଟେକ୍ନିକାଲ ୱାର୍ଡ ୟୁଜ୍ କରିବ so you can see this graph the graph is something like this everything is written same ଜିନିଷ ଆମେ ଯାହା ପଢିଲୁ ସେଇ ଜିନିଷ ଲେଖା ହେଇଛି now the last moment of business decision is fourth moment of business decision that tells you about picked ये पिक के विषय काम करे एथ्रू एते बिजनेस इनसाइट्स फाइंड आउट करी हबनी हाँ हम्म। हाँ नॉर्मल डिस्ट्रीब्यूट देखो देखो एग्जैक्टली जीरो पाइबा टिके चैलेंजिंग थाए काई कहलो कहीं ना तो पाइथन खास कर तो नंपाई यूज करूछ ना नंपाई तुमको वैल्यूज गुड़ाक दिए फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आरए फॉर्मेट रे आरए रे जो वैल्यूज थाए सी मोस्टली फ्लोटिंग पॉइंट नंबर्स रे आसंती दैट इज द रीजन व्हाई व्हेनेवर यू आर कैलकुलेटिंग समथिंग 0.00000001 एमिति भी तुमको दे पारे ओके और एल्स समटाइम्स इट विल बी कमिंग एज 1 e minus 10 1 e minus 10 is nothing but 0 only that is nothing but 10 to the power minus 10 okay it is nothing more okay 1 into 10 to the power minus 10 ये कितने 0.00000 something like this is not it तो ସେଇ ଜିନିଷକୁ ସେ ଡାଇରେକ୍ଟ ଜିରୋ ନ ଦେଇକରି ଏମିତି ଲେଖିଦିଏ ସୋ କିଛି କିଛି ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ୍ସରେ ଏକ୍ଜାକ୍ଟଲି ଜିରୋ ନ ପାଇକରି ତମେ 0.01 ପାଇପାର 0.1 ପାଇପାର ଏନିୱେ ଇଏ ଜିରୋର ବହୁତ କ୍ଲୋଜ ଆଉ ମନେ ରଖ ସ୍କ୍ୟୁନେସ୍ ନର୍ମାଲ ଡିଷ୍ଟ୍ରିବ୍ୟୁସନ ତେବେ କୁହାଯାଏ ଏବେ ସ୍କ୍ୟୁନେସ୍ ଭ୍ୟାଲ୍ୟୁ ଇଜ ଜିରୋ ହେଲା କି ତ ଏକ୍ଜାକ୍ଟଲି ଜିରୋ ନ ପାଇପାର ବଟ୍ ଫେୟାରଲି ୟୁ ଉଡ୍ ବି ଗେଟିଂ ସମଥିଙ୍ଗ ଲାଇକ୍ ଦିସ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ସ ଅଲସୋ ଫାଇନ୍ तो बेटर तुम कौन कर आम आगू पढ़िया ये तो तुम स्टैटिस्टिकल फॉर्मूला द्वारा पाइल ग्राफिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन यूज कर बॉक्स प्लॉट पकईदेव देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड बॉक्स प्लॉट दैट वी आर गोइंग टू लर्न लैटर बॉक्स प्लॉट देन देव कि आउटलायर्स अच्छी कि नहीं जदि 0.4 पाउच आ बॉक्स प्लॉट पकाओ देखिए तुम आउटलायर पाइबनी है कि बहुत रेयर चांसेस अच्छी पाइबार दैट इज द रीजन व्हाई आई टोल्ड यू -0.5 रु जदि 0.5 भीतर आसूची वैल्यूटा तुमको तो डाउट हो जाओ बॉक्स प्लॉट चेक कर दियो बॉक्स प्लॉट यदि आउटलायर अच्छी गो एंड रिमूव दैट आउटलायर okay or else 95% of the times you won't be getting any outlier if you're getting value very close to zero okay. See this is fourth moment of business decision fourth moment of business decision is not that much important for business insights but still it is there so we have to use it एमती ना यूज करबनी कहीं सब गुड़ाक स्क्यूनेस ही तुम हेल्प करदे ये बताए ग्राफ रे सेप साइज भीतर टिके आइडिया दे दो ओके स्क्यूड अच्छी फाइन कौन पिक्ड अच्छी कि पिक्ड मीन्स समथिंग लाइक this is known as pictedness pick is sharp okay pick is sharp the slope is more here the slope is more slope is nothing but delta y by delta x is not it the unit change in x will be changing how much y this is nothing but slope ଏଇଠି ଧର ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ tangent join tangent ବନେଇଲି ନା ଦେଖ ଏଇଟାକୁ ମୁଁ ଟିକେ ଯଦି ଜୁମ୍ କରିକି ଦେଖିବି something it would be coming up like this ଏଇଟା ହେଲା ତମର y ଏଇଟା ହେଲା ଧର y ଇଏ ହେଲା ତମର y ये ହେଲା ତମର x see ଏତିକି x ପାଇଁ କେତେ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହଉଛି y that means the slope is more here okay so if you are getting a graph where the slope is more and the peak is sharp ତମ ଗ୍ରାଫ ରେ ଦେଖିବ ଟିକେ ପିକ୍ ଟା ତମକୁ ପୁରା ସାର୍ପ ଲାଗୁ ସାର୍ପ ଇନ୍ ଦ ସେନ୍ସ ପୁରା ସଡନ ଇନକ୍ରିଜ ହଉଛି ତାପରେ ସଡନ ଡିକ୍ରିଜ ହଉଛି ଇ ଗୋଟେ ପ୍ରକାର ଗ୍ରାଫ ପାଇପାର ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଗ୍ରାଫ କେମିତି ପାଇବ ଏମିତି ଗୋଟେ ପାଇବ ଏଥିରେ आराम से gradually it is increasing and gradually it is decreasing. So here the peak is not sharp, peak is flat. Here it is sharp pick. एपाई ये पिक्टेडनेस विषय कुए, यू नो ये देखो टेलेडनेस पिक्टेडनेस ये सब विषय किए कौन कर्टोसिस, ये शार्प पाइल ये फ्लैट पाइल. Remember one more thing, whenever you are getting sharp graph, your tails are going to go down very quickly. एमती पूरा टॉप रे जाइछि तब संग संग तळको आइला, संग संग तळको आसिकि this is going to be elongated for few distance. ये टिके elongated टिके दूर जाए जाए धीरे धीरे जाए. Remember it is never going to touch your x axis, केवल टच करे ना, काइंड टच करे ना. That also I will be discussing once we start understanding this normal distribution standardization. But remember it will never touch, but it will tend to touch, it will tend to touch. ଯେମିତି ଲାଗିବ କି ତମକୁ ଟଚ୍ ହେଇଯାଉଛି. Okay. And remember since this is going very large distance, since बहुत large distance जाए जाଉଛି, ତା ମାନେ outlier ଏଠି ଅଛି. ଇଏ ବି ଧର ଏପଟ ସାଇଡ୍ କୁ ଯାଉଛି ତା ମାନେ outlier ଏପଟ ବି ଅଛି. So what we got, if your peak is sharp and this tail, ये जो tail ଟା thick ଅଛି ମାନେ ବହୁତ ଦୂର ଯାଏ ଯାଉଛି, ବହୁତ ଦୂର ଯାଏ ଯାଉଛି, ତାହେଲେ outliers ର chances ବହୁତ ହି ଥାଏ, high ଥାଏ. Outliers chances should be very high, more outliers should be present. Okay, more chances of outliers should be present, and more outliers should be present if you have a curve like this where you are going to have the sharp peak, thick tail, and this is known as positive kurtosis. Positive kurtosis ଇଏ ଅଛି ନା ଭୁଲିଗଲି. ଶୁଭଶ୍ରୀ, ହଁ ଶୁଭଶ୍ରୀ, ଆର୍ ୟୁ ଦେୟାର ଅଛୁ? ଆରେ यार ଗୟା ପିଲା. एनीवे ये है पॉजिटिव कर्टोसिस, वी कॉल इट एज लेप्टोकर्टिक, आर गोटे अलग ना अच्छे लेप्टो. जस्ट रिमेंबर दिस नेम लेप्टो. लेप्टोकर्टिक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन मीन्स पॉजिटिव कर्टोसिस. आउ तार कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स कौन, पिकटा शार्प थी दरकार, शार्प पिक अच्छी और टेलटा टिके थिक अच्छी, टिके लंबा जाए एलोंगेटेड होइछि. रिमेंबर आउटलायर से हाई चांसेस रोचे हबार. ओके, तो एगुड़ाक फाइनान्स उपर धर काम करुच, स्टॉक मार्केटिंग उपर काम करुच है कि ता उपर धर प्रोजेक्ट करुच, से टाइम रे एई ग्राफ गुड़ा जो पाइब बढ़िया हो, बढ़िया से एक्सप्लेन कर पारिबो. एनीवे आउटलायर्स उपर तो आम आगुरी एनालाइज कर देइछु विथ द हेल्प ऑफ स्क्यूनेस. Skewness itself would be helping you to go for analysis. Okay, but still coming to graphical point of view, if you are getting a graph like this, you have to mention it leptokurtic or platykurtic. Okay, these things are basically required for your interview purpose. Kind interview नेला बेले client meeting रे गुड़ाक एते मैटर करिवनी, किंतु interview रे मैटर करिवो. kind technical लोक तुमको पचारिबे, tell me sharp peak you are getting, that means kurtosis value would be positive or negative. You should be saying sir it is positive. Now if it is positive then tell me outliers were present or not. Why yes, outliers was present. In the same way here it is flat flat अच्छी माने देखो पूरा आराम से जाऊँची, आराम से आसुची. Okay, okay, just tell me if I'm throwing a ball like this, suppose I'm going to throw a ball like this, the ball is going here, the ball will definitely come down. What would be the velocity of the ball at this particular place? Zero at the topmost. Okay, so these basic things, although you are not going to use these things in future, especially in the data science part, but still physics ଟିକେ basic knowledge ରଖିକିରି आपको ଯିବ. Okay, so kind of velocity, displacement, distance ଏଗୁଡ଼ା ତ use ହବ ହିଁ ହବ. ଆଉ କେବେ କେବେ business problem ଉପରେ ବି depend କରେ. For example, you are working for automobile company. Automobile company would be giving you the data regarding automobile parts, ହେଲା, gear, shaft, okay, this inertia would be, all these terms would be present there. ଆଉ ଏଇ ସବୁ inertia वगैरह ଯଦି ତମେ ଆଗରୁ ପଢିଥିବ ଫିଜିକ୍ସ वगैरह ରେ ଟିକେ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରଙ୍ଗ ଥିବ, ବ୍ୟାକଗ୍ରାଉଣ୍ଡ ଧର ଭଲ ଥିବ, ତାହେଲେ ସେଇଭଳିଆ ପ୍ରୋଜେକ୍ଟକୁ ବଢିଆ ସେ ହ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡେଲ କରିପାରିବ without even needing the help of those articles and all. articles ପଢିବା ଦରକାର ପଡିବନି. ସେଥିପାଇଁ this field is not only for IT people, this field is for everyone. Even though you are from BBA, BCA, BTech, in chemical engineering, କିଛି ବି କରିକି ଆସିଛ, ଏଇଟା ତମକୁ ହେଲ୍ପ କରିଦେବ. ଡିପେଣ୍ଡ କରୁଛି କୋଉ ଟାଇପର ପ୍ରୋଜେକ୍ଟ କରୁଛ. ଫାଇନ୍. Even healthcare, I was working with this healthcare department project, खास करके ये जो protein synthesis something. I was zero. I had zero knowledge on this proteins and all amino acids वगैरह. ମୁଁ ଜାଣିଲି ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ ଅଛି ଏତେ ସବୁ ଟାଇପର ସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ଅଛି. So domain knowledge ମ୍ୟାଟର କରେ ଏଥିରେ. Okay, so this is the peak is flat आराम से जाऊँगी तब आराम से आऊँगी, and here the tail is going to end soon in the sense it will not touch but it will stop very nearby. So here the chances of outliers would be there, may not be there, I'm not sure, maybe there, may not be there, but if it would be there then very less outlier would be there, गोटे दीटा एमती outlier पाइबो, बहुत ही कम outlier पाइबो, okay, कि no outliers भी ହେଇପାରେ, that's completely fine, एमती भी cases ଅଛି, flat रे, but sharp अछि that means outlier हवा mandatory, if your peak is sharp and tail are thick that means outliers chances very high, ଆଉ outlier ଥିବ ହିଁ ଥିବ, ଏଥିରେ ଆଉଟଲାୟର ବହୁତ କମ ଥାଇପାରେ ହେଲା, ଦିସ୍ ଇଜ ନୋନ୍ ଆଜ୍ ଲେପ୍ଟो ଏ ସରି ଏଇଟା ହେଲେ ପ୍ଲାଟି, ଦିସ୍ ୱାନ୍ ଇଜ platicadic distribution, this one is leptocatic distribution, this one is known as platicadic distribution. Platyro characteristics, pick flat and tail is thin, tail thin, pick flat, yes, thick tail, okay, so these are the properties of kurtosis, fine, and if I give you something like this it is normal distribution, okay, kurtosis value is 0 here, 0 ଏବେ କହୁଛି କାହିଁକି ନା ମୁଁ ଯାଇନି ଫର୍ମୁଲାକୁ, ଭାବିଛି ଗୋଟେ ନର୍ମାଲ ଡିଷ୍ଟ୍ରିବ୍ୟୁସନ, ଓକେ, now it is neither sharp neither pick, ये जो मिडिल वाला रेंज रह जाଉଛି, okay, moderate. Now see, if I give you the graph like this you have to tell me which one is leptokurtic, which one is platykurtic and which one is normal distribution, you have to tell me. ये हला ग्राफ 1, ये हो गया ग्राफ 2, ये हो गया ग्राफ 3. Now tell me, out of 1, 2, 3, which one is platykurtic, which one is leptokurtic, and which one is a normal distribution? Okay, one is leptokurtic. Pick is sharp. That's fine. Hmm. But tail would have one any balls. Anyway, just look at the pick. So this one is lepto. I will three ta kono normal. Two ta is platykurtic. Okay. So just by looking at the graph, you can decide kurtosis ta kemti aithibo. Even though you have not found out the formula find out करना, use करना function, किंतु graph देखिए भी कर परिबो. Anyway, kurtosis formula is given like this. Remember, previous one, skewness formula रे एथिरे cube थिला, एथिरे to the power 4 आसीगला. तो मने केमति रखिबो fourth moment 4. Okay. Remember, here whatever kurtosis value you got, this value is going to give you the analysis in such a way that if you are getting kurtosis values greater than 3, it is known as leptokurtic. Greater than 3 ହେଲେ ତ ଭାବୁଥିବ ସାର୍ 0 ତ ହବା କଥା ନା, ପଜିଟିଭ ନେଗେଟିଭ ଆମେ ପଢିଛୁ, ସେଟା ମୁଁ ଆଗକୁ ଆସିବି, ଇଏ ଏମିତି ବନା ଯାଇଛି ଯେ if it is getting greater than 3 then lepto, less than 3 then platy, if it is equals to 3 then normal distribution ଏ ଫର୍ମୁଲାଟା ଏମିତି ବନା ହେଇଛି, ବଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଇଟ୍ ମେକିଂ ଏନି ସେନ୍ସ? କାହିଁକିନା ଏମିତି ଆମେ ନର୍ମାଲି ତ ପଢୁନା, ଆମେ ନର୍ମାଲି ପଢୁ କ'ଣ ପଜିଟିଭ କୁହାଯାଏ, କ'ଣ ଗ୍ରେଟର ଦ୍ୟାନ୍ 0, ଲେସ୍ ଦ୍ୟାନ୍ 0 କୁ ନେଗେଟିଭ କୁହାଯାଏ, କିନ୍ତୁ ଏଇଟା ତ 3 ଦେଇଛି, ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଦ ରିଜନ୍ ୱାଇ ୟୁ ହାଭ୍ ଟୁ ଡିଡକ୍ଟ 3, ଏ 3ଟାକୁ 0 କେମିତି ବନେଇବା, ଅରିଜିନକୁ ଆଣିବାକୁ -3 କରିଦିଅ, ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଏ ଫର୍ମୁଲାରେ -3 କରାହେଇଛି, as you can see same formula would be there, this is the formula for kurtosis, from the formula for kurtosis deduct 3, if you deduct 3 then your origin would be coming as 0, 0 को origin बनेदବା, which is generally accepted, okay, ସବୁ ଜାଗାରେ ଏଇଆ ହିଁ accept କରାଯାଏ, ତ ତାକୁ -3 କରିଦେଲାକୁ ଫର୍ମୁଲାର ଯୋଉ ଅରିଜିନଟା କମ୍ପାରିଜନ ପାଇଁ 0 ହେଇଯାଉଛି. Now tell me, if you are getting greater than 0 that means it is lepto, if it is less than 0 it is platy, if it is equals to 0 it is known as normal distribution. Normal distribution is also known as mesokurtic distribution. Mesokurtic distribution. ये वाला lepto, platy, ये वाला meso. Or else you can call it as normal distribution. That's also fine. Okay. So if someone is asking, sir, ये -3 काहे खेला, तो तुम कहबो to make the origin as 0 or to compare the values from 0 we have to deduct 3. एक्सेस वैल्यूटा एक्सेस ही आइतला, 3 टा टी एक्सेस ही आइतला, हेतमे ताको माइनस कर देलु, तो ना दे दिया गला एक्सेस कर्टोसिस. ओके, बट द मोस्ट इंपोर्टेंट थिंग इज यू मस्ट बी थिंकिंग सर ताले पाइथन टर केमती को वैल्यूटा दउथिबो, एक्सेस दउ कि कर्टोसिस दउ. इफ यू यूज pandas डेटा फ्रेम जब यूज करिवो ताले तुमको एक्सेस कर्टोसिस बाय डिफॉल्ट तुमको मिल जिवो एक्सेस कर्टोसिस दैट मीन्स यू शुडंट बी वरिंग अबाउट कि मैं 3 रु कंपेयर करिवि कि 0 रु कंपेयर करिवि बाय डिफॉल्ट 0 रू ही जिवो किंतु एटा ए फॉर्मूला भी अप्लाई होउची को टाइम रे यदि इफ यू यूज समथिंग कॉल्ड scipy. Remember scipy scientific python is basically used for advanced calculation. Scipy रे गोटे अच्छी फंक्शन statistics if you are using scipy.statistics import kurtosis ସେତେବେଳେ ଯଦି kurtosis use କରିବ you would be getting by default this particular formula ହେଲା so you shouldn't be using this one okay why to get confused better तमे pandas भितर जो kurtosis ର formula टा ଅଛି ସେଇଟା को use କରିବ data frame ଉପରେ okay so हेतिरे excess kurtosis ର formula by default ହେଇକି ଆସିବ fine so this will also help you to analyze से तुमको धर गोटे value दे देला for example you got a value like 20 using this formula you got something called 20 ଏଇଠୁ ମୁଁ କଣ analyze କରିପାରିବି the value you got 20 and you have a column for salary now tell me what business insight ମୁଁ କିଛି number ଦଉନି ମୁଁ କିଛି number ଦଉନି ମୁଁ ଖାଲି कर्टोसिस value 20 पाइছি ଆଉ salary ର ଗୋଟେ column ଅଛି ମତେ explain କଲ ଏଠୁ କଣ ବୁଝୁଛ any analysis you are getting excess कर्टोसिस value is 20 and I have a column called salary तो କିଛି ତ ଗୋଟେ relation ବନିଥିବ I can tell that salary of employees would be varying. First of all, if it is varying, few of the employees, few of the employees would be having very less salary or very high salary. बहुत कम सैलरी भी ହେଇପାରେ ବହୁତ ହାଇ सैलरी भी ହେଇପାରେ ଏଇଟା ହେଲା ମୋର ଆନାଲିସିସ୍ ୱାଇ ମୁଁ ଏଟା କାହିଁକି ୟୁଜ୍ କରିପାରୁଛି ଭେରି ହାଇ सैलरी ଭେରି लो सैलरी एंड आई एम यूजिंग few is basically used for outliers बहुत कम वैल्यू अच्छी जोटा कि बहुत हाई अच्छी बहुत लो भी अच्छी यही सैलरी डेटा सेट ओके तो एपट साइड भी आउटलायर थाई पारे आई डोंट नो मे बी हैविंग इट मे नॉट बी हैविंग सी मते डायरेक्शन बताउनी डायरेक्शन किए बताए स्क्यूनेस रिमेंबर गाइस स्क्यूनेस बताए डायरेक्शन को डायरेक्शन रे अछि हमर आउटलायर ये खाली बताउची पिक्टेडनेस योर कर्व वुड बी समथिंग लाइक दिस तो एपट भी आउटलायर्स थाई पारे एपट भी आउटलायर्स थाई पारे एंड आउटलायर्स मींस very few value with very high quantity very low quantity this is what I have explained very few of the employees would be present who would be having very high salary very low salary may be present you should be using something called may because you are not sure दीटा डायरेक्शन रे अछि ना राइट रे अछि ना लेफ्ट रे अछि तमे जानना तमे खाली एतिक एनालाइज करछो कि हां आउटलायर्स अछि बाकी जना पड़िबो स्क्यूनेस गो एंड फाइंड आउट स्क्यूनेस शुड बी गिविंग यू डायरेक्शन पॉजिटिव स्क्यूनेस माने राइट साइड रे नाउ यू वुड बी गेटिंग कंफर्म तमे कंफर्म ही जीवो ओके सर राइट साइड रे थिला आउटलायर्स दैट मींस very few employees are there who are getting very high salary सेटा रहि जीवो तम स्टेटमेंट अंडरस्टूड अरे अंडरस्टूड or not are you guys there hmm. okay so bringing out the insights matters a lot guys okay value to tam paijibo even your coding is very much easy let me tell you python coding बहुत easy अछि but analysis find out करिया सेटा ही business sorry data analyst रो काम analyst काहे की word use होइछि because you are analyzing something and you are explaining it to your client so your explanation your understanding matters a lot here okay साइंटिस्ट को पोजीशन को आसी ना काहे ना साइंटिस्ट जीवो मशीन लर्निंग यूज कला बळे prediction karibo okay now see here now this is the graph given and you can have a look this one tick is there lepto this one normal distribution meso platy flat tick flat platy high kurtosis may indicate more outliers or extreme values low kurtosis platy suggest fewer outliers as I told you or outliers are nothing but extreme values, but very less outliers should be there. Okay. Normal kurtosis, that means indicated distribution similar to normal distribution, that is normal distribution. Right? So this is what this is all about kurtosis, guys. Kurtosis. But remember, kurtosis won't be giving you that much analysis. Skewness will be giving you more analysis. Even variance standard deviation, that second moment of business decision, will be giving you more analysis, and the first moment would be giving you more analysis. So this first three would be very much important. But for interview point of view, the last one is important. Why? Because people used to ignore this particular thing. ओके, पीपल यूज्ड टू इग्नोर, पीपल बच्चे सोचते हैं कि अरे लास्ट वाला तो थोड़ा अलग है, वो ज़्यादा यूज़ नहीं होता है, इसलिए हम छोड़ देते हैं उसको। लेकिन क्वेश्चंस इसी में ही पूछा जाता है, प्लैटी का मतलब क्या है, कितने आउटलेट्स हो सकते हैं। यू शुड बी सेइंग सर लेस आउटलायर। ज़्यादा आउटलेट्स किस में होंगे? लेफ्टो में। फाइन। एंड कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स यू नीड टू रिमेंबर, कौन सा वाला पिक शार्प है, कौन सा वाला फ्लैट है, कौन सा नाइदर फ्लैट नॉर पिक नॉर पिक्ड। ठीक है, वो भी आपको जानना है, शार्प। ओके, नाउ इफ आई गो टू द लास्ट वन, इसमें बस वही चीज दिया गया है, स्क्यूनेस, फोर मोमेंट्स ऑफ बिजनेस डिसीजन, मीन मीडियन मोड, वेरिएंस स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन रेंज, स्क्यूनेस, कर्टोसिस। ओके, एंड यू शुड बी रिमेंबरिंग द फॉर्मूला। इफ यू रिमेंबर द फॉर्मूला देन इट वुड बी गुड, सेफ साइड में रहोगे। बिकॉज समटाइम्स बच्चे एक्सप्लेन कर लेते हैं लेकिन फॉर्मूला याद नहीं रहता है, एंड पीपल वुड बी टारगेटिंग दैट फॉर्मूला। ओके, सो व्हाई टू लीव एनी लूप होल्स? Okay, then. So this is for the day. Next class we would be going to the coding part, and simultaneously we would be starting the graphical analysis. ग्राफ के बारे में भी जानेंगे, क्योंकि जितने भी ग्राफ हम पढ़े वो सब के बारे में भी जानना इंपॉर्टेंट है। हाउ टू गेट दोस ग्राफ्स। ओके देन, थैंक यू। हाँ टेल। क्या याद है सर? हाँ।